website called All About the Tea.
He told All About the Tea that during the fight,
Hey teacups, it's your girl Monica. Welcome back to the All About the Tea channel. Joining me tonight are teacup affiliates, Amir Yaz. Hey Amir.
Hi.
Hi. We have the Bishop in the building. Hey Bishop.
hey, what's up, y'all?
Good. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Good. We have Schoolboy. Hey Schoolboy.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. And we have the lovely Plez. Hey Plez.
Hey, y'all.
Hey.
Bless.
The ladies on top. Okay, so first and foremost, if you're not subscribed to the channel, I need you to hit that subscribe button down below. And if you already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea that we serve on this channel. Teacups, on the agenda tonight, we are discussing Harry and Meghan exposing the racist royals. Bethany Frankel, problematic microaggression towards Meghan. All right, yeah. Let's get into it. Oh my goodness, where do we start? Okay, so Meghan Markle and Harry Charles Albert David, formerly known as Duke and Duchess of Sussex, sat down for an interview with Oprah that has now gone viral. Okay, conversations about how dark their baby's skin color would be. A rift between Harry and his father, Prince Charles, so deep that Harry says that him and his father had stopped speaking for a while, or they're not even speaking right now. And Meghan saying that she felt suicidal. Pretty deep stuff, yeah. These are the shocking allegations that came out of that interview. Why don't we dive into it? First, let me ask you, Plez, as I know you watched it, what were your initial thoughts after watching the interview?
I was just shocked. Although I clearly we know the British are racist. Just to hear the level of gaslighting and manipulation she had to endure, to know that the people who are telling you, don't worry, we're going to protect you, are actually feeding the press these horrible, inaccurate, like flat out false lies and slander against you. It's a completely different mind screw. I felt really bad for her. And I can really see the difference just in being an American versus being a person that lives under that aristocracy. With the monarch, everything that we don't have to deal with here in America. It's one thing to think of a king. We had somebody who thought he was gonna be a king, honey. Whew, thank God we did that. But could you even imagine, like when she first said, "Oh, I know what it's like to be around famous people." She's like, "Nah, these ain't famous people, boo. This the queen." He's like, yeah, it's just your grandmama." She thought she was just going to dinner to get some mashed potatoes. Child, pass the peas.
No. Schoolboy, what were your initial thoughts after watching the interview?
Ma'am, did you think this was Princess Diaries or Prince and the Frog? Because I'm confused, ma'am. I know damn well, and I ain't from over there, but I got enough damn common sense to know them people over there is a hell of a lot more racist than Americans are.
Yeah.
And you, ma'am, are biracial. Your mother has dreads. I could feel the racism through the TV as I was watching y'all get married. Did you see how hard the queen looked? She looked like, this is some bullshit right here. This motherfucker, he didn't marry this. That woman always looked constipated, but just something in that moment when they got married, she looked extra constipated. I was like, this is not going to work over here. I was like, oh shit. Then you had Serena Williams, you got all these African-American, people, they there's a different monarchy. There's a different way of living over there. The queen living off them people. Let's be real. She's never worked nowhere. I mean, I was confused on her mindset as of what she was thinking she was going into, because this is not Hollywood, and I really believe that she thought that this was going to be some kind of Disney fairy tale, and it didn't happen that way.
Liz Simmons, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey fam, love. Been ready for this all day. Love you all, Teacup fan. We love you too, Liz. Thank you so much. Amir, what were your thoughts after watching that explosive interview?
I felt like after the 2 hours, like looking back, it was explosive, but it felt like we're taking a commercial break at every moment. So it was so slow. Like, I wish it was just an hour long, but I get it. The commercials were $325,000 for 30, seconds. So I get it. Like, I understand why they did that. But, my first PR job actually was with a British company. And the things that these people would say just a couple years ago in LA was so shocking. They called me savage because I was Persian. It was all in fun. And one of our DJs was a Black woman, and she was wearing a hoodie. And my boss literally at an event said, "You look a little scary with the hoodie on." So these are the microaggressions that like British people think is kind of okay. They kind of say it's humor. They use that like, oh, it's just humor. But, racism, like systemic racism in the US is really bad. Colonialism is international racism. That's like you're hitting every country and you're going in and doing the white savior thing. So it's pretty deep. And even there was a moment where Harry said, "I'm not going to speak as to what this person said." Even though he's married to a woman of color, he still is defending his white family. I was like, what are you doing?
Right. Absolutely. I have said before, is I have family members in England and I've been there. And you talk to them and stuff. And as an African-American woman and having, Black family there, it's a different type of racism. It's very blatant. It's very nasty. It's very in your face. Like they'll spit in your face in an argument. We've seen Piers Morgan on TV, how arrogant and nasty he is and relentless. He doesn't even try to hide it. Bishop, what were your thoughts after watching the initial, interview?
She's delusional. That's what I thought when I watched her. Like, girl, you really is from LA, because I'm a Californian, and I'm like, yeah, she's from LA, because even if I was gonna meet somebody and I know their parent is a queen, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is gonna be kind of interesting. I would never thought like it was gonna be like a celebrity. You know what I mean? So it's like, ma'am, do you not have Google? Do you not search people? Do you not look down the royal bloodline and things of this nature? But I guess that shows you a millennial for you. They don't do too much research. They just do a bunch of, chatting and texting. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. To me, it seems as if, like Schoolboy said, Meghan was living in a fantasy. She thought that she had fell in love. She had, met this prince who obviously she researched. That is BS. I'm not buying that she didn't Google research anything about the monarchy.
And Monica, remember Priyanka Chopra introduced them, and Priyanka Chopra is a fame chaser at best. So she said, "You're going to meet the Prince of England." She didn't say, "Oh, you're just meeting another gingeroony cutie." Like, she didn't say it like that. She said, "You're meeting the prince." Like, she wasn't like, "Oh, Harry, what's his last name?" Like, come on, please. Like, it's like, are we supposed to believe that? Like, I don't
believe it. I don't believe it for a minute.
It makes me feel like she thought because she was biracial, that would make her passable to them and a little bit more accepted, like she would in the US. But then she got her feelings hurt because as long as you got a drop in you over there, you ain't seen as white. So I think that was another reality that kind of slapped her in the face. And let's be real, I've always felt like Harry was more like his mother. He never was really into the royal stuff. I mean, even when he was getting in trouble in the military, like Harry has always beat to his own drum. I think she was a way for him to escape the royal family. I don't know
Yes.
how long this is honestly going to last between her and him, because like that was pissing me off low key that he was sitting there defending them, and you know they were being racist towards your wife. You have a biracial child. What in the entire hell? But then when he kept going back, he said, well, that's still my grandmother. She still also is the ruler of my country. So it wasn't just that's my grandmother. She rules my country. And should this go left between me and her, I've got to go back home.
There it is. That's it, schoolboy. And like, I think for me with the grandma thing, well, we're still Zoom calling the racist grandma. I'm fine with that. You want to Zoom call? Everyone has a racist grandma. I get it. But like at the end of the day, don't say she's the ruler of my country, because they gave you up, boo. They gave back all those honorary medals. They packed up that suit, and they threw it away, honey. It ain't there anymore.
Well, they actually sent him up to be killed, okay? When they called him in Canada and said, we have removed your security. This is Prince Harry. He is the Prince of England. You don't just remove, the concept of it was mind-blowing to me. When he said they removed his security detail, I can understand the black baby and the black wife, because they don't give a damn about them two. But Prince Harry, you knew at that point it was a setup for him for all of them to be killed. Seriously,
that was messed up.
Look, it was very Lion King-ish. They left them out there for Scar and the hyenas to come in and snatch them all up, honey. That's what they were waiting for.
Oh yeah,
that is so true. That is. God bless Tyler Perry, honey. Is he? What, I don't know what character in Lion King Tyler Perry would be, but honey, he came in and saved everybody.
Oh yeah.
So
he's
God
Timon.
Bless.
I don't know who Pumbaa is, but he's Timon.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. But God bless Tyler Perry. And that Luann quote really stands up now, honey. That Luann de Lesseps quote she sent Ramona about Tyler Perry. He a good man. Yes.
Or he likes publicity too, because his name's being mentioned everywhere. So you paid what, $3 million for the security, and it's worth it in the advertising, right?
Tax write-off.
Yeah, and it's a tax write-off. So Ian Toledo, thank you so much for the super chat. In my normality, I relate to Meghan. Being an interracial couple, queer in addition, shunned by the in-laws for not being an alabaster couple. I thank Meghan and Harry for more than exposing the TRF. Wow. Yeah. All right. So in that interview, a lot of things stood out to me. I guess first, let's start off light, right? Harry and Meghan secretly getting married before their royal wedding. So they were literally, they were married 3 days before the wedding that we saw on TV, which makes sense, right? And she kept saying that wedding was for England. It was for, the world to see, that big wedding. And she felt like she was having an out-of-body experience walking down the aisle and all that kind of stuff. She really thought she was in a fairy tale. She really did. She had no clue. And I bet you for most of her life, being such a fair-skinned woman, maybe even passing in some circles, some places, I don't know, in the deep, deep parts of Africa, not America, but like if she goes to certain parts of Africa in the jungle, they probably think she's a white woman. I bet you that she's always been treated a little differently. So like Schoolboy said, she thought that she can, would get a pass in England, that they would say, okay, well, your skin's so fair, you're almost like us, you'll fit right in. I have seen, and there was a teen mom couple where the girl was biracial, just like Meghan, and the husband was white, fully white, and their baby is very dark skinned. It happens. It happens. People don't understand DNA and how it works. But that does happen. And I remember the young man's mother being so upset and demanding a DNA because she's like, that is not my son's baby. I don't want to hold that baby. I don't want to touch that baby. That is not my son's baby. And it was. They took a DNA. So, in England, they know this stuff, and the threat. Can you imagine of having a dark-skinned prince being born into the royal family? That for them would be the end of the world. That would be the takedown of the monarchy and just their whole world crumbling as they know it. Moving on.
Wow.
Meghan said she contemplated suicide. she said she felt so stifled and silenced, and that she was, what did she say? She said that she was always an advocate for women and always had a voice for women. So when she couldn't be that voice, girl, you can't just go there and do what you want. You can't. Plus, let's sound off on that. You know, her contemplating suicide and feeling stifled and trapped in the palace behind some bars.
I mean, I just really felt for her because I think it's easy for us to say, well, you should have known, but no, I wouldn't know. I mean, it's one thing to Google and read about the royal life. It's a totally different thing to live that life and to have these eyes on you at all times. I mean, we saw it before with Diana. So she's not lying. Like, it's a very repressive lifestyle. I can see it being very overwhelming, especially when, like she said, she hadn't been anywhere in months. Yet people were saying you need to lay low. Like, girl, I've been in my room. Like, what do you lay low for what? Because other people are taking pictures of her around the grounds and leaking it out, making it seem like she's just out and about doing whatever she wants to do. When every little move you make is analyzed and broken down and micromanaged, I'm with her. But again, I think that's just the reality of the freedoms that we have that we sometimes take for granted in America. Being able to go out and go to Starbucks, as trivial as it may seem, and get your little latte and go on about your day and have lunch with your friend. You know, she's like, I just want to have lunch with my friend. When she talks about being lonely, a lot of people who don't really understand mental health will be like, how are you lonely and it's a house full of people? Easy. You're not connected to any of those people. They're not talking to you. You all don't relate. They don't even really like you. They just putting up with you because Harriet and drug you home. It is the true epitome of look who's coming to dinner. That was her life for real. And, you know, to think about suicide, I'm glad she got out of that place. I mean, it's deep. I don't wish that on anybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Conscious Beauty 80, thank you so much for the super chat. I felt like I was watching the Brit version of Get Out. I don't know. I do have compassion for her. Like you said, mental health is a very serious thing and nothing to take lightly. And of course, you can feel extremely alone with a house full of people. You can, even the ones you know, unloved, neglected, and just, you know, shriveling up on the inside, and no one sees what's happening to you. I get that. But at the same token, it's like, girl, this is kind of what you signed up for. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts?
You know, I felt bad because I'm like, damn, they had you up in there like you was in prison. Shit, they remind me of watching Shrek when Fiona had to get saved in order to get out of the tower, and the dragon was in there, and Shrek had to slay the dragon just to get her out. You know, it's just you. I think Meghan thought that, okay, I'm still going to be able to fool-la-la. I'm going to be able to have fun. I'm still going to be able to live this life because even though Harry was royal, Harry was still out with the rappers. You saw him drinking with Drake. You saw him chilling. Like, Harry did his own thing. It used to piss them off because they could not wrangle him in. He did whatever the hell he wanted to do, and he felt like he was entitled to that after his mother died. And he knew the circumstances of how his mother died because of the tabloids and them chasing her down. And they removed her security too and like kind of like left her out. You know, she went out like Mufasa did when he fell off that cliff. I mean, when you think about it, she wanted to have those same freedoms, but I think mentally she thought that she could pass. But then at the same time, when they reminded her she was just still an N-word, I think that really hit to her because it was like, yeah, you here, but you ain't no Kate Middleton. Now, Kate go out and do whatever Kate want to do.
Right.
I have noticed Kate has been able to move over the years, and nothing is a problem with Kate moving. But you can see, if you compare both of the ladies, there's a difference. It don't take rocket scientists to see that, oh, well, damn, why did Kate get to do this? And then Meghan was, constantly ostracized. If she touched her belly too long when she was pregnant, oh, she's trying to do this or she's trying to one up. And I think that was a division that they were trying to create inside of the home so that way they could spit it out to the tabloids. Because let's be real, the royals run the tabloids. This is not something that we don't understand. That is what they're built off, because the country, they have to worship the queen. That is what it is. It's worshiping, the queen. She's royalty. So I'm I don't, and I get it. I mean, shit, if I Google something, I probably wouldn't know everything about it until I actually got into it and I saw what it entailed. But probably by the time she got into it, it was too late. She was in love with him. And damn, I'm just going to deal with this because I do love him. It's just, I'm concerned about how long this is actually going to last and hold out in the future just because of his mannerisms and the things that he said. Yes, he did hold his wife down. Yes, did he leave with his wife? But if you kind of get to that point where they was talking about the financials, he was just kind of like, I didn't know what I was going to do. Because all of his life, everything has been laid out for him. He had to go figure out how am I going to make money, how I'm going to do this, how I'm going to do that. I hope that the marriage works, but I got some concerns.
Lindsay, thank you so much for the super chat. The royal fam is worried about a black baby, but not that their lineage is basically of incest. Ooh. The hypocrisy of it all. Yeah, it's always a hypocrisy. Amir, what are your thoughts on Meghan having suicidal thoughts, feeling trapped, couldn't get her Starbucks?
It's really tough because with that kind of like mental health stuff, I mean, I've struggled with suicidal thoughts and I've been in therapy for years, but it was at the height of it when I was at the Oscars. I had, I was working with Michael B. Jordan, I had all these celebrity clients, and everyone thought, oh, he has a perfect life. But that's when you're the most depressed sometimes, because you might be in a room full of people, like Plus said, but none of those people connect with you. None of those people are seeing you. And I don't think she did enough. Again, the research thing, if you've seen some princess movies, they're all trying to escape. And what made me nervous about Harry and her is resentment. He's going to resent her in the future for giving up his family and all of his, commendations. And she's going to be jealous, like resentful of him because she gave up her life, her career. Yes, I get it. She was not the most famous. She's not an Angelina Jolie, but she had a career. Like, she had a life. She had enough to pay her bills. Like, she was doing good. So I think resentment's going to be a big thing. And again, I'm happy that she shared that and I'm happy that she got out. But the way that he was speaking, oh, thank God my mom left us money, because it seems like all he cares about is the money of it all. And even the whole Archwell and, oh, we weren't looking for Netflix or Spotify. I'm sorry, but like, even me, I'm a nobody, but I'm looking for Netflix and Spotify. I don't believe that you're someone who had a platform and you're not looking for that. It just, some of the stuff, they were trying to be so earnest, it came off very phony.
Yeah. So a lot of people said that online. I read that. Bishop, what are your thoughts?
Girl, bye. That's the first thing I was looking at. I'm like, please. I'm like, but I felt for, I did feel like the suicidal thing, what she was saying about what she was going through, the mental, things that you go through when you want to, commit that. But I feel for her, but then it's like, ma'am, like, let's be real. Like, I know you've seen the stories. I know you heard the stories. I know, because they play Princess Diana's story every year. It's like it's ongoing. So it's not like it's something that's hid, but it's almost like it's too. And I hate to say this because I'm part of this generation. It's like two millennials who have no idea what's going on in life. That's what I felt when I'm listening to them talk. And again, she had a career, but come on now, let's be for real, y'all. The career is really going nowhere. This is like a one up for her. I hate to say it. I'm sorry. I hate to say it. I got to be the one to say it. This what actually made her famous was this relationship, in my opinion, because I know who she was before then. And I think she enjoyed it like the first maybe few months, but then she found out that this was a full-time job, like a job that you didn't even sign up for. You just walk outside, click, and you go and you scratch your behind, click, and it's like, dang, I can't do nothing without anybody click in it. And so she realized that this is for real. This is a life of a royal person, where your life is no longer yours anymore. And I don't know how she didn't realize that. I'm a whole full black man, and I'm like, I wouldn't want to be a part of that life. Like, just me knowing the stories and seeing the movies, I'm like, I can't. I don't know if I can do that. Like if I met an African princess, I'm like, it seemed like you living really good, but I don't know if I want to be micromanaged all the time. I just don't know if I can do that. I don't know if I want to sign up for that. So, I just, yeah, it's like, it was hard to find too much sympathy. I conjured up a little bit, though. A little bit, just a little. Stout, aka the professor, thank you so much for the super chat. She says they took her identification as soon as she began living there. Okay, yeah, well, that's what you sign up for. And of course she didn't have all the details, but then it leads me to believe that's why they don't marry outside of that culture. They don't. You have to understand that culture and what it entails and what comes with it, and maybe set up a training program. You know how these companies have leadership programs?
Yes.
A fast track for the high performing employees and stuff. So incoming, if a woman's being courted and you're taking her seriously, we're going to put her in the leadership program before you can get married. It's a rigorous 18-month program, and we walk you. And then by the end of it, do you still want to do this?
Monica, they do that usually. So one of my friends, his sister got married to some duke of something, not England, some other small country, whatever. And so they put her through a training program. The way I gleaned it was that she wasn't offered that Meghan was not offered a training or an assistant or anything to help her because of the way they saw her. Because I think they have to train you, because there's, 5 different forks at these state dinners. Like, how do you know which one to use? Like, it's crazy to me that she didn't get anything. No classes, no etiquette, nothing.
But how do we know she didn't? She didn't talk about it. But I don't know if she did or didn't, because she didn't say that.
Said it. She said it.
She
said that they didn't help her. So more or less, he was basically helping her Google at night what she was supposed to do, so that she would have dinners and she knew how to conduct herself, because she claimed she didn't know how to curtsy. Yeah. Well, I mean, damn, you didn't know how to curtsy. I mean, I know how to curtsy. I ain't know, I don't really act feminine, but I know how to do that. You know, so it's like you didn't know the basics, because these are things that they go through.
Debbie has a great comment. She goes, what about Prince Andrew? None of the British tabloids writes about his story. Of course not. He's protected, and all of that stuff is controlled out. The press is controlled out of the royal palace.
Yes.
So they literally set her up. Today on Instagram, I posted, let me read you the post, and everybody lost their minds, especially the Brits. They came at me. I wanted to tell them to go find a dentist, because they're not very.
You're bad.
Wait.
They're not really fond of dental care like that over there, like we are here in America. But
they are not, honey. You meet the hottest British man, he opens his mouth and it's like,
it's over. Like a garbage can. I know, it's atrocious. It says here, the Queen was concerned about how dark Meghan and Harry's baby would be. Now, of course, the sheep came running in. No. It was not the Queen. Oprah even confirmed today that Meghan and Harry said it was not the Queen. Well, if they don't protect the Queen, they're going to be dead on the spot. They literally have 24 hours to live, okay? They have to protect the Queen by all costs, right? She is.
And Monica, everyone protects their racist grandma. Am I not right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But I want to explain to these people that it all trickles down from the top, from her. She calls the shots. What she says goes. She's the head and they are the tentacles. Prince William, the firm, as they refer to these people as, this princess, that prince, this, that, and the other, this duke, they all take her lead. So you mean to tell me she didn't sit around and talk about the color of this baby's skin?
Hell
Of
yeah.
course. Of course she did.
Of course they did. And at the end of the day, remember that it's funny. Everyone's like, what about Prince Andrew? Why isn't anyone attacking him? I need to say this. I'm going to say it twice because I feel like people don't get it. He's a white man, a straight, rich, royal white man. A rich, royal white man. I want to put that on the shirt because people keep messaging me and saying, why do you... This is colonialism at its core. This colonialism, racism, they're all connected. They all come from the same place. And it's a white man on a white horse, honey, coming in, telling people that have lived on land for thousands of years how to operate. And that continues. And at the end of the day, look at the countries they sent them on, right? They sent them to Tonga, Fiji. Do you think that was on purpose, or was that, oh no, look, feel comfortable. Here is a biracial woman to make you feel more comfortable. What they're doing. It's a corporation. They are HR. They know how to operate. And people keep thinking, oh, the royals just dress fun and they go to dinners. No. It's a corporation. They know what they're doing. They are making billions of dollars tax money and they're spending it. Like they know what they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Now,
I'm sorry.
no, go ahead, my love. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say to Amir's point, like we always, not always, but a lot of times on this show, we talk about the isms. It was the isms on steroids. It was literally everything: colonialism, misogyny, classism, elitism, and you can see racism, of course. So you can see the differences because everybody's like, yeah, they didn't accept Diana either. This is not accepting Diana level 10,000. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because of the racial construct that then comes in. And yes, they don't treat them like Andrew because one, Andrew is actual blood, part of the family. Charles was, I don't know why they're so surprised about Harry. Charles was the wild card. Running out, finding Diana, got Camilla on the side. Nobody really like Camilla. She a little loose. Look, these fruits are not falling far from the tree. I just think they didn't think Harry would go this far. They thought he was in a rebellious phase, but eventually he was going to bring home somebody who they could tolerate or deal with. And it just shows how far America has grown away from that, because back in like the 40s, 50s, 60s, for women, mainly white women, or upper class people who wanted to be married to executives and stuff, they had housewives guides, housewives training classes, how you represent your husband when you go to these nice dinners and galas and stuff. Women used to have to be trained in these types of things, even in America. So it just shows how far, and I think probably in some circles, they probably still do. But Meghan wasn't part of, even here, wasn't part of the upper middle class or the upper class at all because of her parent. So this is a life that's completely foreign to her. Yes, you can sign up for something, but we all know people don't read the small print, honey. Those terms and conditions will get you every time. She didn't know.
Well, Meghan forgot she was Black, honestly. She lived her life as passing in certain circles. And when she got to England, they said, hold up, honey. No. You are Black.
But honestly, I think if she wasn't Black, if she was, I don't know, what's a white actress, Jenny McCarthy, and even Angelina Jolie, I think they still would have looked down on her. It wouldn't have been to this level. Yeah, it wouldn't have been to this extent. But they were not going to be accepting of some white actress from America either. She would have just been white trash.
Not to the so they might have gotten. She was really nice, and she put on the good Dorit fake British accent and faked it till she made it. They probably would have had her trained. She would have went to the Duchess or the Princess School. They would have taken care of her if she had her cards right. But at the end of the day, she's a Black woman, and that's all they saw.
Not Dorit.
I have a question, Monica. I have a question for y'all. Do you think that if it was like a Nigerian royalty or like a Black woman that was royalty, would it make a difference? Like if she knew the customs? Okay.
Because Princess Diana was allegedly messed with an Egyptian person, allegedly.
Mhm.
Oh.
I don't think so. I don't even.
She was also a commoner. That's the thing. They believe in that social class shit.
Yeah.
You
that's
are not,
true.
as a commoner, you
Yeah.
are not supposed to be fraternizing with royalty. That
That's
just does
true.
not happen. And so I think, I don't care even if she was a white actress or a white chick from the trailer park, they still wouldn't have accepted her because of the classism that they have in that country. You are going to still be seen as a commoner. You do not have the money that they have. You are not from the lineage and the bloodline that they have. Them people, that's just the way they set up. And that's
But
why
Kate's not royalty. Kate Middleton.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah.
Yeah, but Kate Middleton's not royalty, but she's very rich. So there's that.
She's still kind of in that class.
Yeah,
she's not poor by a
Where was
long
Kate
shot.
from? Was she from like Wales or something?
Yeah, I believe so.
Their country is all whales and dolphins and sea.
I'm done with you, Amir. I'm done.
But I think also Kate was
Seals.
kind of like the queen liked her.
She liked
It's kind of like
Every day she liked her. Yeah. And she was the right color of the persuasion. She had the color of this complexion.
And she's docile enough. She ain't spicy like Diana, honey.
Yeah. She knows. Yeah. Diana was something.
Well, we also don't like Diana going with a brown guy too from the Harrods. Like when she started sleeping with Jodie Fayed, they didn't like that either, even though he was coming from a multi-billion-dollar family.
Didn't matter.
So they still didn't like that.
No, she feared for her life too. So they set them up. I'm really scared for them, though. I really am.
Me too.
After this interview, and I just hope things work out for them. So Prince Andrew, he's a pedophile, right? He's hanging out with Jeffrey Epstein, and the British tabloids don't say a word about him. That just shows you, people, wake up. That just shows you how much power the palace has and how they control the media. Okay, the media, Prince Harry and Meghan were trying to make it seem like, the press and the tabloids controls, what happens, and the palace has no control over it. No, that's not true. They don't talk about Prince Andrew at all, and his connection and all his flights and all the women that he screwed that Jeffrey Epstein provided for him. They don't talk about that. They don't. They just stuck. They were stuck on Meghan and her every little move that she made. She was being scrutinized. But my thing was this too. Stop reading the papers. Okay. Turn off the phone. Stop. That's an easy way of not having to see it and have it to infiltrate your psyche. Turn it off. Years ago, I had a friend that was being stalked majorly on Twitter. I mean, really, really, really bad. And she was really into social media and what everyone said about her and all the bad tweets. And when her son got arrested for some mess, he got caught up in some drug mess. That was all over Twitter. And she said, Monica, what am I going to do? And I said, why don't you delete your Twitter? And she said, no, really? Yeah, delete it. And delete your Facebook too while you're at it. Because they went to her Facebook. She did that. And I'm telling you, her whole life changed.
You ain't lying.
Mm-hmm.
I deleted my Facebook. It's been like 3 years now. I haven't looked back.
I need to go on to do that because
Mm-hmm. And don't you love those people? Because I deleted mine about 10 years ago, right? And I never looked back. And I only announced it one time. I said, I'm deleting it. Take care. I DM'd a few people. I said, here's my number. Keep in touch. And that was it. I hate those people that get on Facebook every single week. I'm out of here. I'm leaving. And I'm never looking back. Y'all gonna miss me.
Well, then leave. I'm
telling you today, at the end of today, this account is deleted. I'm gone. They say it like every week and they never leave. I said it one time, bye, and that was it.
See ya.
Or they announce their unfriending spree. I don't get it, y'all. You can still have social media and protect your peace. My Facebook, I've been on it since they allowed it to open up to my college back in 2004. It is literally family and friends. I have to know you in real life for you to be my Facebook friend. I don't accept anybody and everybody. But that's also why I won't get a Twitter that y'all keep telling me about. I'm like, nah, I ain't got time for people to be adding me all day.
But you know what? My most people I know ain't on Twitter, so it's cool. So I'll be just be in Black Twitter land, just chilling. Don't nobody
Just
be
living.
on that. They be all on the Facebook. Mama be like, so this. I'm like, I ain't even on that. I got 210 notifications. Ain't been on that bitch in 6 months. Don't know.
I love
Yeah,
that.
Twitter's in its own no man's land. It's crazy out there. I call it Satan's playground.
Yes.
All his ambassadors reside there because they are crazy.
Ooh,
They are
nuts.
rough. They are. I mean,
the mental health.
Yes. Yeah.
And the porn, the P
rough.
word.
It's rough out there. There was a comment that Oprah made that I thought was shocking. She made some kind of random comment about Serena Williams. Did y'all catch that?
What'd she say?
Do you remember she said you and Kate went to see your friend. She kind of emphasized your friend. What was that about?
I think I saw Serena placed a message up there after the interview about basically kind of alluding like, you can't tell her how she felt. That was my friend. My friend called me and told me how she was being treated there as being a Black woman. So why are people trying to downgrade that? And Serena has gotten dogged out over years for being with Alexis Ohanian because he's white. So, and let's be real. She's dated a lot of Black men that didn't treat her right. So she went on over to the other side, and it's been issues ever since she's done that and had a biracial child. So it's like, you can't never, I'm like this. I'm just gay. Everybody be with whoever the hell you want to be with. Love who you want to love. And the hell what people got to say. Because at the end of the day, that's who you lay down with at night. I don't have nothing to do with that. But I think she was just trying to defend her friend. Like, how you, but then Oprah, I don't know if that was the real Oprah, like you said, Monica, or a clone. I wasn't sure what that was right there.
I was joking.
Amir, I thought she was, again, I think we keep trying to understand it from an American lens. So to me, when Oprah said that, Serena is somebody who definitely Black people, but I think even most Americans kind of consider as like American royalty, particularly sports royalty. So you would think that she would be given the same like level of respect. Like, oh, you went to see your friend and Kate was acting up with her too. It's like you would think that people would roll out the red carpet for Serena no matter where she goes.
No, not England.
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I hear this a lot in the gay community where people will say, I'm not racist. I love Beyonce. So for someone to be valuable, they have to be a billionaire, gorgeous, talented, and then they're viable. So there is a lot of that. And I see a lot of the comments about saying that, Prince Harry is amazing. He put his foot down. He gave up everything for her. Again, we're toting to the white man. We're saying, wow, he's amazing for giving up all of that for her. No. She's the woman that was put through all of it in his system, and he let it happen. Believe me, those were his dad and his brother who said that about his kids. And he still, after all of this, didn't throw them under the bus. Yeah. What does that say but white privilege? What is that other than that? That's all it is.
And where do they get that? Where does the father and the brother get the ideology from? The queen. Okay. People wake up. Stop saying it wasn't the queen. It is the queen. She's the one that's instilled this way of thinking, this hatred in their heart. And it's a microaggression. It's not outward, right? Because they go to Africa and they feed the thirsty and the hungry children there and the poor children. And they do the humanitarian thing all over the world, but at the same time,
but Monica, they ruined the world.
They don't take home those people.
They ruined the world. They ruined it, and then they go and feed them. It's like,
exactly. I always say that England is the birthplace of racism. America is its child. Okay.
Absolutely. And it goes back to what Amir was saying initially with colonialism and the whole white savior mentality. We made these places poor as I don't know what, and we've withheld clean water and everything. But look, I'm coming to save it. You all should applaud me. I'm such a philanthropic person.
Absolutely. And God Save the Queen. That's in their national anthem. Very, very good comment, Carol K. It was the Queen. She has the final say. She controls the tabloids. If she didn't want the tabloids hurting her grandson's wife, right? Her grandson's wife, she would have put an end to it. If she didn't want that rift between Meghan and Kate to take place, she would have put an end to it. She would have had to sit down. It would have been one time, 20 minutes. It would have been over with, okay? When the Queen puts her foot down and she makes a decision, everyone falls in line. So people, please wake up, please.
Yeah.
And you know what? Shout out to my UK people that are listening. No offense. I was just making a jokey joke about the dentist.
Oh, we love the UK people.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know, but come on, like you have to admit that like some of the pictures that they decided to use of the queen, of her wearing those colorful outfits, looking happy. I'm like, are we going to talk about the crypt keeper, her husband behind her? Like some of those very creepy, they all just look creepy. And I'm like, the images they were showing was almost making Meghan look bad. It was like, look how happy they are. Look how nice they are to her. And like Meghan even said she had a blanket that she would share with me. Who the hell cares? She gave you a blanket, but then she thinks you're less than. I just don't get that.
They also give water to the poor kids in Africa too. I mean,
well, because she's doing what she got to do to save face in front of her grandson. But trust and believe, when you walk out that room, she asking you, why the hell you bring that up in here? You know you wrong. You know that we don't do that and da da da. I mean, we have those same colloquialisms in America when somebody dates in the family outside of their race. Trust and believe. I got my brother's grandparents. When you go in their house, they got Roots sitting right up on Alex Haley, all his books. It's a rule. You don't bring her home if she cannot use your comb. That's the rule. You don't go against the rule, but that is just the rule. They don't believe, a lot of people don't believe in mixing outside of the race, and that is just what it is. And it's no different for the royals. It's just on a different level because they have a different monarchy. But it's the same thing. I don't know what she thought, but I mean, he ain't gonna change.
She forgot she was black. I'm telling you, it happens. It's like when black people move from up north to down south, and they have such a rude awakening. It's like, oh, okay. I just wanted to acknowledge a few super chats. I want to say, AE, thank you so much for the super chat. Some of you are not getting, what some of you are not getting is Meghan or mixed people in general are viewed as black. Yeah, they are. Meghan is like, but she still got the wake-up call. Yeah, like I said, when in America, it's different, It's different. Marcella, thank you so much for the super chat, my love. Meghan, don't know that Harry may resent leaving one day. How did they take his entitlements that he was born into? I think Harry got pussy whipped, to be quite honest with you, I really do feel that way. And then,
thank you for saying it, Monica. Thank you.
You see it too. I think he got pussy whipped and a little manipulated. She seems a little bit more savvy than he is,
It's the chocolate.
That's a lot, y'all. That's very cynical. They can't just be in love. Jeez.
No. Throw it away, pledge. You're thinking of like Princess Diaries. I'm gonna need you to think a little more savvy.
I'm thinking that people love each other and they want to be together at all costs.
No,
Pledge. I just want to give you a hug, Pledge. You're so sweet. I love you. You're so sweet. I'm telling you, the savagery in LA is real.
No, when it comes to celebrity life and they're considered celebrities, I've worked with clients. You set up relationships for press. Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas, people are like, they're in love. Look how they have strategically worked their way into every hosting event and that's because of their marriage. That
Cardi being upset.
There you go.
It was supposed to be a marriage. It just ended up like that.
Yeah,
it works. It works. Again, I'm not saying every relationship, but I feel like with them, I felt like her wall was so high and Oprah had to break that wall down. And I felt like when Harry came, he seemed so naive to me. Like it seemed like it was two grown folk talking and then the child showed up and was kind of like, I don't want what happened to my mom to happen to her. That's so not the point of this. Like,
but I think for him it is though. I think again we got to deal with. I don't think them people in them castles are getting no therapy, and I really do think Harry is still that little boy whose mama didn't come home from a drive out with the boyfriend. And like I think that's fueling his whole rebellion and bringing Meghan home was like the ultimate FU to them, and to that extent, I feel like he was ready to say, you know what. Y'all ain't gonna help me. I've come to y'all saying that we need help for like, excuse her. I came to you. I am your grandchild and said, I need help. Y'all won't even help me either. Okay, cool. We're gonna pack our stuff and leave. And like they said, they didn't want to like not be affiliated at all. They just didn't want to be full time. They were like, we can go to South to like you said, sending them to Fiji. We can go to South Africa. They ain't want to send the people to South Africa.
But it's childish to think that way. That's not how life works.
I know, but it's so childish. And the fact of the matter is, like,
but why shouldn't life work like that? That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't work like that. You're thinking of life outside of what they got going on there in their monarchy. You're thinking of life. You're thinking of a normal life. That's not how that structure works. It's old ideology and rules that are in place for a reason. It just doesn't work like that. It's kind of childish way of thinking that we could have this whimsical, wonderful life part-time in Fiji or Canada. You know, we were in a commonwealth and still have our titles, and we, you know, Your Highness. No, man, it does not work like that.
But they said that other family members live like that.
But
so that's what they were basing it off of.
But they're not black.
But
they can do that. They can do that. She can't do that.
But even then, like, this is where I agree with you, Monica, is the fact that when he said this, when Oprah had asked him a question like, if Meghan hadn't came in your life, would you end up leaving them? And he said no. He said I would have stayed.
Thank you.
So that lets me know that he was whipped. She put that thing on him.
Yes.
And he was like, ooh, this is something new. My mom was right. They are good in the sack.
Well, no.
That's what I picked up on.
I think he fell in love. He got pussy whipped, but he fell in love with her. But at the same time, when being under that control of that WAP, it can make you lose your sensibilities.
My God,
and denounce your titles.
And you don't think logically, you don't think things through all the way. It becomes like you step into that fairy tale mode. He went back to being that 10-year-old or however old he was when his mom passed away.
Good thing.
Look,
I've heard we're missing the point that he used her as an opportunity to leave because he said that.
Yes.
He admitted that. So whether he was pussy whipped or loved her, he used her as an opportunity to rebel and it would like kind of acceptably rebel. I'm going to get married. You know, she's like wonderful and she's going to follow the rules and all that. And it like, I think that he is the problem child of the family, you know, like, and so they're like, okay, at least he's going to get married. But they didn't consider that the queen was like, it's better you act a fool in Vegas than marry, pardon what I'm sure she said, a half-breed. She probably said that. Let's use the right words. And in England, in the US, we have a certain amount of words that are racist. In the UK, they have them for Middle Eastern people. They have them for Black people, Latinos. They have hundreds of words. They created racism. They know what they're doing. So they don't just say the N-word. They say a bunch of things. Like, I've heard it all. Like barbaric, savage, aggressive, the N-word. I mean, the list goes on and on. So let's not pretend this old little woman didn't know what she was doing. So she knew. She knew.
And they mama lived. Shit, that old battle axe lived forever and then died, you know, at the 100-something years old. And then you're going to tell me that he did not. And I'm saying we have people that we know in the United States that they outside their races to piss their damn parents off. I've had friends that will do it. They will bring someone home that's outside of their race to piss their parents off. I think, and I've said that from the beginning, I believe he used her as an outlet to get the hell up out of there because Harry has never wanted to be in that royal lifestyle. He saw what it did to his mother and he's never healed from that. And so therefore it's just like, I don't want to do it. This is stifling. I want to be able to fool la la and have fun. And they thought that they were going to do that together and they feelings got hurt.
Well, he thought he could do it and be a part-time prince.
Yeah.
Hold on to his title, the security, and the paycheck. That's what he thought, but that's just a fairy tale way of thinking. It's very juvenile. My big sis speaks. Thank you so much for the super chat. This is the year of revelation. Something dark will help to illuminate the light. Meghan was like that fly on Pence's head. The royalty could not see her. Shame on them. Oh my goodness. Anthony Lester, thank you so much. I like your bow tie. You look like an attorney, an Esquire. I like that look.
Ooh.
Thank you, Anthony. For the super chat, amazing how they hate Meghan because of her color, yet love and shield Prince Andrew, who was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. He was a full-blown pedophile. There's victims that name Prince Andrew as, you know, their attackers. And the British press don't say a word about him. It's just swept under the rug. Oh my goodness!
Because ass out though on the low.
Because the British control America. Oops, that's it.
And we owe
Mhm.
them money.
Mhm.
Yeah, because they
So-
always had
Mhm.
the gold standard, and it used to be to them. So I don't know why people forget that all the time.
Well, we're
Yeah.
enamored by it. We're enamored by a system. I mean, remember how many people got up and watched the royal wedding with Princess Diana? And then now Americans are obsessed with this culture that's all about suppressing people of color. We love it. It's like they put popcorn and they're just all these racists are like, this is amazing.
Because
Like-
they are parents.
Mhm.
America's parent.
Yep.
For some
Yep.
reason, I'm just having all these movie correlations. Why did I just realize Eddie Murphy bit off of Charles and Diana for coming to America?
You just realized that?
Yes. I'm like, Prince Hakeem left that betrothed wife there to come over here to Queens and get him a common wife. I'm like,
Oh
this is,
yeah.
that is Charles and
Yeah.
Diana.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Yes, it is.
Woof. Woof. That
All
poor
right,
thing still
let's
looked
get
like that
down.
for
Let's
30
get
years.
down to, Selena, thank you so much for the super chat. I don't know if this is true, but I read that Meghan is like third or fourth cousin, that they needed her melanin to keep the royal line going.
Yes. Does Sophia ring a bell?
Mm.
Princess Sophia?
Is she the one from the West Indies that was
I don't
in
understand what
Bridgerton?
that means. Are they saying that Meghan is their third or fourth cousin?
From the dad's side of the family.
Oh, I don't believe that.
They already
but-
had melanin in their family. They didn't want it again, but
right.
They had it from the West Indies. There was a princess the queen that they painted out. They'd whitewash her.
yeah, Sophia.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they act like she didn't even exist. Okay, so moving on. Members of the royal family questioned Archie's skin color.
Oh God.
And that was like, a shocking revelation. It wasn't shocking to me. I was just like, okay. And
Regular white people do that.
Regular black people do it too.
again, did you forget
Yeah.
that you were black? Okay.
Regular black people do it too. Did you check his ears?
Yeah. Amir, what are your thoughts on them wondering if Archie might come out dark? And you know what? I'm going to pull up that couple for you guys so you can see exactly, get a visual of what I'm talking about. Okay, but Amir, share your thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I think unfortunately, like people don't even realize when they're doing microaggressions. Like my cousin, he's Persian, his wife's Latina, and they had a baby. And the first comment was, the baby looks a little Asian. People don't really realize what they're saying, or they'll say things like, oh, it's so good that the baby's white. Oh, the baby has such beautiful skin. It's like you can say a baby's beautiful without making it racial, but people don't even know what they're doing. So they'll say things like, oh, it's so good the baby's not too tan. It's like, why are you saying that? Like, so I think that like this though is a clear example of his I still think it's the dad and the brother coming to him and saying that, and again him defending them, and then doing the whole white guilt BS, which I hate, which is like, I did a bunch of research and realized it was bad. I've never been a black in a day in my life, and I know it's not right. And I'm white passing, I'm Middle Eastern, but yes, I'm not like white as in from like England. But I'm just saying, like, in 2021, can you get away with that excuse? Like, I didn't know any better. I didn't know it was so hard for people of color. It's not going to really fly for me. That's not really going to fly for me.
Toya, thank you so much for the super chat. I missed the interview, but clearly the Royals are foul and out of pocket. However, I think Meghan has an agenda. I hope I'm wrong, but she strikes me as someone who is using Harry for clout. What are your thoughts, Plez?
I don't think so. Again, I don't get caught up into all of this. It's like the whole pomp and circumstance of it is a bit much for me. So I was not up at butt crack of dawn like other people were watching their wedding a few years ago. It just wasn't that interesting to me, especially not for hours. I like catching the highlights. I can't just sit there and watch something. My OCD will not, I mean, not my OCD, my ADD will not allow it. They always seem very genuine to me. And I know you can say it's juvenile or naive. I just saw two young people in love who wanted to hope for the best. And it turned out to be a complete crap show. I think if she just wanted him for clout, Americans value independency. So she could have just up and left. There were book deals, just marrying him was enough. There were, or honestly, even just dating him. There were book deals that would have catapulted her acting career, sans him. The fact that they're still in it, they're going to tuck now. Yeah, I don't think they're realizing right now, because it's only been a year, exactly how hard it's going to be. But the new baby coming, it's a girl. They have the quote unquote, what a lot of Americans feel is the American dream. Money beyond their wild, well, maybe not Harry's wildest dreams, because he comes from a different type of money. They're going to have more than enough money to be set in America. Their children will be set. They have the perfect nuclear family. They have all of these deals, and I'm sure they're going to have all kind of um syndications and just things pouring into them, offers that they're going to have to turn down because it's just too many. I don't think it was for clout, but anybody who moves in those circles, the goal is to marry up, y'all. Most people at that level don't go out looking for any random person to marry. So it was no accident that she was introduced to him. She can't help that, but they hit it off. He's dated lots of girls before her, but for some reason it was something about her and she made it. So I can't blame her for that. I like love. I want to see them happy. I don't like that Disney and America feeds us this happily ever after. I did not like seeing so many people, pushing their little girls to watch this, because it's a completely unrealistic view. However, I hope those same women had their little girls sitting down watching her with Oprah last night, so they can also see the harsh reality of this lifestyle that so many people pine after.
Mm-hmm. Schoolboy, well, it's good points, Plus. Members of the royal family question Archie's skin color. What are your thoughts?
Not surprised. Like I said, I've had a lot of friends that have. I had an ex-friend who married a black man. She dated black men purposely. She knew that her father and stepmother were very much so racist. Okay, so their first son came out really, really light, passable. Second son, not as light, more of African American hair. There was a problem with that because he was not as passable. They always would make little comments like, "Oh, well, they're more white than black, so they don't need grease in their hair." Little isms, that they would do, but you knew what it was. And her husband was hella uncomfortable because it was like, you saying your dad is cool with me, but I just don't feel that he's okay with me. And there were certain things that she would say to them and feed them, so that would further initiate the situation. I do think some people have a narrow-minded view of genetics and how that actually works. I have cousins that are very, very fair-skinned with blue eyes, but dare you call them white because they would cuss you the hell out. You have those cousins with the fair skin and the green eyes. I have dark-skinned cousins with the green eyes and blue eyes, and they do not look. You be like, you belong to. Yes, I'm black, so I think that's innate, that's in them, just as Ples has said, Amir has said, even Bishop has said, colonizer, that's where racism was birthed. We are in the land that is the cousin, or would you say child of the racism. So I'm not gonna find it odd that woman asked, well, what them kids finna look like, because it could have most certainly reached up into her mother's lineage and came out my complexion, or even Play's complexion, or Bishop's complexion, and that child, and they was like, what in the hell, like that life, when the baby came out and they was like, who the pappy, it would have been just like some who the pappy, because they would have been really upset. I think that they love each other? Yes, I do think he loves her. I just hope that he does not gain that resentment later on, that he gave that up, that life. Because I still will say, he did not know anything outside of that life, besides that life. That's what he's grown up in. So this is all a new learning process for him, then being married, then having children. Like, this is a lot for him to take in. And I felt like he was very cautious of what he said, because he did not still want to make them upset, because that was his family at the same time. But he did understand his wife's feelings, but he wanted to play the card in between both of them. And it bothered me to a degree, but then at the same time, I had to sit back and look and be look at it from another scope and say, you know what, he got to do that because he still has to protect his lineage should something happen to his father or his brother.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what is the next option? They may have to call him, you know, and he's got to be able to still secure that relationship. He may love her, but he's trying to teeter, and that's not going to always work. And that's not going to always, it might work for the temporary, but it may not work for the long run. And that is where I'm a little afraid for her. I don't think that she's in it because she wants something from him. I don't think it's a clout thing. I think she really did genuinely fall in love with him, and I think he did too. It's just a different type of sacrifice than a normal type of sacrifice in our everyday relationships, because that's a whole nother level.
Mm-hmm. No doubt they fell in love, though, right? No doubt they love each other. But as adults, you fall in love, you get the house together, the cars, and you acquire bills together, you start having children, and you kind of fall out of that fairy tale phase a little at some point. And like he said, if it weren't for her, he wouldn't have left. He didn't feel stifled. He didn't feel suffocated by the world that he grew up in and he lived in. That's all he knew. She did.
Right.
So at some point, like you said, he didn't throw the grandmother who God save the queen. He didn't throw her under the bus. He didn't want to mention who talked about Archie's skin color, because he still had his wits about him to know, let me not throw these people under the bus.
Right.
To me,
and Monica, it
was
wasn't just the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, plus. Sorry.
Oh no, I don't know. I try to be fair to both sides, and she was doing the same thing. I think they both made an agreement to not say certain things, because she was like, if it were me, when I get mad, like, guns are blazing. And even when she was just one-on-one with Oprah, to me, she was still very guarded. And very like, would only say a little bit. Like, she wasn't just out there exposing people. So I think they both agreed that we're going to speak our truth, but we're not going to name names or throw people under. But like, she said that when Oprah pressed her on it, she's like, I'm not going to say that. I think it'll be very bad for them.
Let's be honest.
Amir, what were your thoughts on the world? They're making comments about Archie's skin color. What were your thoughts on that?
I mean, that was not great, but I just think that what frustrated me about that conversation is that Harry wouldn't even discuss the contents of the conversation. She didn't ask who said it. She said, can you discuss what was asked? And he said, I'm not even going to talk about it at all. And I thought, like, well, then don't start the interview with, I always am very wary of interviews that say, everything's on the table, nothing's off limits, because that's not normal people. Like, I've interviewed hundreds of people and everyone has a wall. Whether you're a celebrity, whether you're on a reality show, whether you're an actor, it doesn't matter who you are. Everyone has a guard. So you always have to work through that. And I saw Oprah working through it, but you can't work through fear. There were moments I was watching with my mom where my mom's like, she seems kind of scared of something. Mm-hmm. She seemed fearful. Yeah. And again, the whole security thing. And I don't want to be morbid, but there were moments when she spoke that I was like, this could get her killed.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Like, this is like stuff you say that you end up, and if the royal family wants you out, it's going to happen and nobody can really do anything about it. Mm-hmm. So I was a little worried about that. And they're living, in Montecito in the middle of nowhere in this $18 million house. Them getting taken out is not impossible.
Right.
So that really kind of worried me.
Very sad, but I had that feeling as well too. Yeah. And I felt very sad too. A moment of silence, sadness came over me. Mm-hmm. That poor little baby playing in the garden, it was just, don't even want to talk about it, but I wish them well. Dr. J1930, funny girl, thank you so much for the super chat. Harry attacked William. They do not speak at all. So it was William. He said they are living off of the mother's money left to him. Well, the mother's money saved them, but at this point, they got all these deals and stuff, book deals and production deals. They're
Right.
going to make a nice little coin. Bishop, what were your thoughts on the royals worrying about how dark Archie would be when he was born?
I'm not surprised. I've had British, not royalty, but dignitaries come to my parents' house before, because my aunt is very connected with people like, in that circle. So it's not surprising to me, because they want to keep their bloodline as pure as possible, even though it's had its little hiccups here and there, and now Meghan's a hiccup again, and I'm not, it's just, I can understand that from a family standpoint. You have this, tradition that's going on in your family, and somebody just ups and want to do what they want to do, want to run around, do what they want to do. And to us as, people of color, it's like, that's not fair. But it's like, well, if you raised up in that lifestyle, it don't matter what's fair or not fair. That's just how it goes in that life. So it's like, it looks terrible, but that's how it's ran in there, and that's how they kept rulership for all these many years around the world. So they kept things tight, but I'm not shocked by that. I don't know why she would think she'd be. I don't know why she thought I don't know why she's shocked by it, but she lived in the fantasy land of L.A. La La Land. It's his own place.
Maybe she watched Bridgerton, Bishop. Maybe she watched Bridgerton. She saw Shonda Rhimes bring the people of color into this white system, and she thought, maybe I can do better. But, that's a TV show.
No, ma'am.
Well, she said it wasn't like The Crown. She's like, that's not, what it is. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that. But do you really understand? I think also they are protecting Archie as well as the unborn child, because they still are a part of that lineage. They you gotta keep treading lightly, because like everybody said, it don't mean they can't get touched. They ruthless over there. It doesn't mean that they can't get touched, but I just think that they're not. I think both of them are. I think when the fantasy kind of settles down and they really get into the actual marriage and the rooter to the tutor, it might be a little bit different.
Yes.
Yeah, she literally said in that interview that, and I quote, she says, just like the Little Mermaid, she falls in love with the prince, and because of that, she loses her voice. She was in Fantasyland. She was,
Absolutely. I guess I relate to it, because I never wanted to marry a royal or thought about that. That was definitely out of my realm of thinking. But I wanted to be a lawyer, right? You know why I wanted to be a lawyer? Because I watched a thing on ABC called The Practice. And baby, I knew I was going to law school to be Bobby Donald. And once I became a lawyer, I was like, I'm not Bobby Donald. This is a lot of reading and writing, folks. So I tell people, look, it's one thing to look up to something. You need to actually do some internships. She should have called up Camilla and been like, hey girl, tell me about the inside life. Like what it's really like behind the doors of the castle. It ain't everything that glitters is not gold, y'all. We gotta.
Amen.
When they put her through that princess leadership program, though, she would have seen that, and she probably would have flunked and fell out and said, "You know what? I just flunked out of it," and just said,
"This isn't for me.
No.
This is not for me." Monica, I didn't know if I was going to tell you all this, but I'm going to tell you all this. I mean, hopefully it won't get me killed. Let me get into it. So about a year and a half ago, no longer, 2 years ago, I was working at a PR firm, and I reached out to Meghan Markle's team, and they said, go talk to Buckingham Palace. So I was emailing with these aides, and every couple of weeks, there'd be a new aide. It'd be a new person. And some of these aides had said, like, oh, yeah, it's hard for us to stay employed. There was some shade thrown around towards Meghan Markle. I never spoke about it, but I thought this is the right place to drop that tea for y'all.
Is it just me, or is Amir breaking up?
He's breaking up.
See, every time you mention the royal family or something, it gargles. It looks like it's like you're underwater, right? I thought it was just me.
Oh, that's so weird. Okay. let me get off the AirPods. How's that? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, it's better.
Is that better? Is that better?
Better.
It seems like they're tapping into my Wi-Fi, honey. These royal families trying to get me.
Yeah, they don't want
yeah. So basically, I was emailing with the aides, and they kept changing, and they were throwing me shade, and they were giving me the tea, but it was such a rough system to work in, and I was just emailing them to organize this like brand dealership like deal, and it was so much back and forth, so much bureaucracy, so many people were on these email chains. And they kept getting fired, and there was a lot of shade toward like Meghan Markle. They were like, she's so difficult. So it was, I mean, 1% of it, but I could tell that everything is so orchestrated and organized and kind of scary, actually.
Did the folks take his voice?
Still?
No,
parts
I heard him.
juicy, but it's
Yeah, like when it's getting good.
yeah. As soon as you said something about the end about
What is happening?
put the AirPods back in the container it came in and close it. Sometimes the reception. Mine does that. Yeah, mine will act up too.
All right.
Mine's will do
All
that
right.
too.
I'm closing it. Okay. How is
Yeah,
that? Are we good?
that sounds good.
Okay, now I'm nervous because I'm like, they're getting into my Wi-Fi, honey. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, basically, like, long story short, there was so much bureaucracy, so much red tape. I had to talk to so many people. I kept getting fired, and so it was a lot. I can only imagine what she went through.
Yeah, sounds like she went through a lot. It really does. Was she totally innocent in all of it, though? Or was it just a cultural clash, and the way she communicated her style didn't work for the people over there? And again, as well, they wanted to see her fail too. They didn't want to see her succeed, and they didn't want to give her the support and the love that she needed. They didn't want to hold her hand and walk her through it. They're very racist. We see how Piers Morgan acts, right? He is just, I just want to hurt him through the TV. Just, I want to beat him up. He gets on my nerves. I can't deal with him. Yeah, and to the British people listening and watching, comment in the chat. Do you find Piers Morgan to be racist and out of line, or is it just an American point of view? Because I do. I really, really do. But it could be just from through our lens that we're just seeing it that way. And that's very normal and typical British behavior, culture. I don't know. He's very aggressive and nasty towards Black people. Very.
He hates women.
Yeah, and I think part of it is cultural. I mean, definitely there are racial tinges, but remember when like American Idol started and how blunt Simon Cowell was? I think part of that is just their culture. They're very blunt. They ain't no PC. Ain't no, you don't need to soften the blow. We're going to tell it how it is.
But I never heard Simon make any racist comments. Piers makes very blatant, microaggressive racist comments to me. Like it's a little, yeah, of course, Simon was like, very, very, he was a shade tree. But he never
Simon did his shit
not liking Black, like he loved Fantasia. He used to date a Black woman that he was an artist back in the day that he discovered, a pop singer or R&B. You remember that? A Black woman. She was an R&B singer. So he never came off to me as racist like Simon. Simon's aggressive, don't get me wrong. But Piers just has a different type of energy. And he literally says racist things too.
No, but that's why I was saying it's a mix of course, it's racially tinged, but I think also part of it is just how they speak and the bluntness in their communication. When you were saying, why did people keep quitting, or her aides kept getting replaced, there probably was some type of cultural barrier of how they communicate with each other.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, the British way is to kind of like, if you have a problem, like even when I went to my boss and I told her that when she spoke to the DJ who was a woman of color and said that about the hoodie, that it was inappropriate, she understands. She said, I love Black people. I have a lot of Black friends. It's like there's a disconnect.
I love that line. I got Black friends.
I have a Black wife.
That's the biggest indicator, right?
Even when they say I have a Black wife, and I'm like, I don't care.
You're
disrespectful still.
Do I am I supposed to give you?
You're disrespectful. You're just fetishizing her then. Okay, great.
And the funny thing about it is a lot, some KKK Grand Wizards have black wives. What?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not surprised.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, like you said, it's a fetish. So Archie's title was stripped away before he was even born. They came up with this new rule called the covenant or something. The covenant was removed. So Meghan revealed in that interview that they were told that Archie would not become a prince or receive any royal title. And this is before he was even born. This is before they were talking about leaving the monarchy. And Harry said that he had to pay for security out of his pocket for Meghan and the baby because Archie wouldn't receive security once he was born. Now, Meghan was like, well, why did they change the rules all of a sudden? Right? Because his brother, Prince William, and Kate, their kids have titles or are still in line to become prince one day. But when, she was pregnant with Archie, they suddenly changed the rules. Plaz, what are your thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't suddenly. That was something that they were plotting as soon as that wedding was completed, if not before. It was a very calculated coup, in an assault to get her out. They were going to get her out by any means necessary. They just didn't bargain that she would take their wonderful grandchild with her, honey. It is literally what they did to Diana, just magnified. And I kind of hate it on one hand because it feels like they won, but their mental health, their stability, all of that is worth more than winning a battle that honestly they would never ever win. And I would not want anyone to sit there and subject themselves to that level of antagonization, dehumanization, just everything. I definitely don't envy her. Even now, with all the things that she's gonna get coming from it, it's a hard life. So yeah, that wasn't suddenly, but for them to that is the definition of gaslighting. When you can look over and see somebody else. My brother has a wife and they have a boy and a girl, and what I think they have a third child at this point. All of these children have security and titles. But I only have one, and he can't have a title or security. We're costing you too much. Are you serious?
Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. Essentially, pushing them out. When you treat people that way, they don't want to stick around for the bad treatment. I wouldn't. Schoolboy, what were your thoughts on Meghan dropping that bomb that before Archie was even born, they came up with this new covenant that he wouldn't have security or a title. And he was not in line to be prince ever. That was stripped of.
I'm surprised he was black.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, I think I'm thinking, I look at things too damn honestly and too damn real because I don't sugarcoat shit. So I just think it like, what did you think? You think that they was going to give your child security? You think that they was going to give your child a title? Hell no. I don't, when they're world, they don't want nothing associated with anything being black. I understand that at times they've had hiccups, but like Bishop said, they want that line as pure as it can be, and that, unfortunately, I feel bad for Archie because he's going to know the difference of treatment between his cousins and him, and he's going to question that between his parents. I don't care if he's 30th line in the throne, somebody say he's 7th. It doesn't matter. He's still going to know the difference, that he is not treated the same as his cousins and his counterparts. And he is not going to have the same relationship with his great grandmother as he is on, with other kids, with his other cousins. He's not even going to have a relationship with his cousins because he's not even going to be allowed to be around them. It's just a whole.
I wouldn't even want a child around them. Yeah.
And I know you wouldn't want your child around them, but at the same time, it's still, there's a part of you that's always going to say that that's still family. That's still a point in a title. That's still his brother. That means he's not even going to be around his nieces and nephews. He has had to sacrifice everything that he has in his life to make sure that her and the child, then the kids are safe. But at the same time, the kids also sacrifice as well. When you, and this is just a colloquialism, when you date outside of your race, or you date outside of your class, or you date out of, you have to understand that there is consequences when you do those things. It's not always going to end up being a fairy tale that you watch in a Disney movie. There may be consequences. Not everybody's going to open arms to you and be okay. It's like the colloquialism of somebody being gay, but on the obituary when they die, their special friend. They never say that, oh, that's their wife or that's their partner. It's their special friend. I just feel sorry for the children, because at the end of the day, they're innocent in all of this. And even though the adults understand, kids don't understand freaking monarchy and why this, that, and the third. They don't understand that. And unfortunately, when we choose to lay down and we have kids and we choose to get married, there's always consequences. It's not always going to be the fairy tale. And I do feel bad. I want them to win, and I want it to work out. God forbid anything happened to her or those kids. But shit, that queen is ruthless. I don't give a damn what nobody say. That old battle axe is ruthless.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I would be scared to send my children over there to great grandma's house. She might have these beautiful ninja grandkids as, figurines. She might have them up on a shelf fanning her or something, like an underground. So I would be so afraid to let her babysit or watch the children, but I really would, because she's crazy like that. Amir.
Definitely bringing the lemonade and the sweet tea. Definitely that.
Amir, what are your thoughts on them stripping Archie of his birthright? I mean, this is a birthright. He was seventh in line, as that person said, to become prince. Why would they do that? Why?
Well, it's another way to just like slap in the face and be like, well, that's just how the rules are. Well, you change the rules. You change the rules to match that. And I think that, listen, at the end of the day, we have this in America as well. You're going to have the same people that are going to have their weddings at a plantation. They're going to have framed artwork of monkeys in dresses. Like you're still going to have this. And this happens on Bravo, like Southern Charm. I called out Patricia. She had photos of monkeys in dresses. This is now. This is not, oh, I didn't know any better. These are people that are doing this today. So I just think that we have to stop being shocked by it. And I think we just have to be like, this is a reality. And unfortunately, if you're in this country and the UK, if you're a non-white person, you don't have the luxury to pretend it doesn't exist. I love when white people say that. Oh, I didn't know. And why would they strip his, money, racism? This is this is our bedfellow, So.
Absolutely. Bishop, what are your thoughts on them stripping Harry of his rightful heir to the throne? They said, no, we're changing the rules. Your Black child cannot ever become prince, ever.
I never thought he would be able to ever become prince. Just the simple fact that he has a percentage of Black in him. Now in America, if he's passable, he can be sick. He can almost say he's white, but just the fact that they follow lineage in that family, and they actually look down your family tree, you know what I mean? So it's like I kind of figured this was going to happen anyways. The simple fact of who his mother is and who his mother's mother is as well. It's so unfortunate, but that's how they play the game out there. They don't want to pass down to the crown, even though he looks like Dean Michael, like Ashley Darby and Michael Darby's type of child, where she's half Black, but the child looks more like on the white side. But in that culture and in that particular family, they actually pay attention to stuff like that, because then they have to look at the family photo and they're like, that girl looks awfully strange. She looked like she could be white, but there's something else in her. You know what I mean? And I don't know. That mama looked kind of questionable.
I know.
And they have to explain that.
Yeah, yep. One of the teacups just sent me this. Wow, says it all, right? From day one.
It's like one of the mean church
I
mothers.
told you that old ass lady looked constipated. Look at her. She looked like she's ready to shoot her right there.
She's like an old church mother in the Baptist church.
She just says, you know, what a shameful day for England. She probably went home and cried, you know.
She's like, my pastor son marrying this heathen woman. Clutching my invisible pearls.
Oh my God, what has this world come to? You know, society. Okay. All right. Look, y'all want to talk about Bethany, or should we touch on anything else that we missed in this interview that stood out to you that you want to talk about?
We can talk about Skeletor.
Okay.
Here we go. Whoever thought Amorosa would be right? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Like, I'm Amorosa.
Yeah.
Amorosa's mean, but she ain't stupid.
No, she's not. So Bethany called herself inserting herself into the Meghan and Harry situation on Sunday ahead of the Oprah interview. She took to Twitter and she made some tweets. Okay, I'll pull them up on the screen. She shared her opinion and she got dragged for it, rightfully so. One of the tweets said, "Cry me a river, the plight of being a game show host." That's when, you know, Meghan appeared on Deal or No Deal. Fairly unknown actress to suffering in a palace with tiaras and seven-figure weddings for 2 whole years to being a household name with Oprah on speed dial, fetching $7 million for interviews, hundreds of millions in media deals. Oh my goodness. First of all, didn't they say at the beginning, the onset of the interview, they were not being paid for the interview? Didn't they say that?
Amen.
Yep.
She did say that. So what is Bethany talking about? She went on, she wasn't done there. She went on to say, and she sympathized with Harry. I 100% give Harry a break. This isn't the way to generate less press and cannot be filed under the guise of wanting privacy to prevent a repeat of previous events. If you hate me for saying it here, don't listen to my podcast. It's littered with my opinion. And then she went on to tweet, I chose reality TV to work towards making money, to be scrutinized and criticized. I took the trappings and the beatings along with it. It's a rose with petals and thorns. People beg to enter the often toxic institution I signed up for. That was the life I chose. I can't play stupid and smart. That's what she tweeted. And of course, social media erupted. She was trending yesterday. And people were going after her and calling her ex-porn stars and all kinds of stuff. It got bad. It got really, really nasty. But, you know, and then she quickly apologized. I think Bethany likes it. She knows how to drum up attention and press for free to drive traffic to her podcast. That's all she was trying to do. Plus, what are your thoughts?
I feel she went full on Karen because she knew that there were other full on Karens out there coming off the heels of what we saw with the last person who was in the White House and everything that happened on January 6th. Those people are still around, y'all. You know, they've been subdued a little bit, but all you needed to have was a little half black girl crying, talking about how much she got hated on because of her race. It's very triggering for them for some reason to think that someone actually had hardships. Again, no matter how glamorous the life looks, everything she said in that tweet was highly superficial. The girl didn't even want the wedding. She wanted the man. That's why she had her little wedding in the garden on the side. She did not want that. That was tradition. She didn't want those gowns. She didn't want to have to ride down the road and wave to all of these people. Like, again, I really don't think she knew what all the job entailed. You know, we read a job description all the time, and then you get there and you are doing way more. And you're like, hold on, wait a minute. HR, this wasn't in what y'all posted online. That is literally what Meghan was. Like, it floored me when she said, I went to the firm and, because at my other jobs, I had HR. So I went to them like, can y'all help? Because y'all supposed to be HR, right? Like, that's legit how she thought this was. But yeah, Little Bethany was virtue signaling at best, or pulling dog whistles, I should say, the variation of it. As you said, Monica, it's provocative. It gets the people going. She wanted to throw something out there just so she could watch it and then double back and say, oh no, I've actually watched something. Because again, as a reality star, ma'am, editing. So, of course, the commercials were going to show little bits and pieces of making it salacious to make the people want to tune in. Not, taking things out of context. And then once you saw the whole 2 hours, oh, please forgive me. I could never have imagined. Girl, bye. We see you. We see you, Bethany. Don't y'all be buying no more skinny girl nothing.
But you know what? I hate the fact that people fell for the trap. I mean, she just wanted free press. That was it. And she was trending yesterday. Miss Alexander J, thank you so much for the super chat. I've said this a million times. Black Twitter is free publicity. We run the culture. So when Black Twitter gets pissed and drags people, it's a guaranteed press. Absolutely.
Yep. And to her core audience, those people will run out and buy her stuff because they think she feels like them.
And she probably apologized on the podcast. So, click on the podcast to hear my response and follow up. Schoolboy, what are your thoughts on Bethany inserting herself? We didn't ask for her. She just came into the party.
In the words of Kenya Moore, and I can't stand the heifer, but in the words of Kenya Moore, I didn't ask for you. I didn't send for you. So why are you coming for me? I didn't send for you. Bethany, sit your ass down. Okay, you and your Skeletor and your crying and the damn skinny girl alcohol. I don't buy none of that shit. I don't care about you. I don't even know why you had the nerve to say anything. What burns me up about white people is that they always want to tell us about the Black experience. Do you even know what it is to be Black? No, you don't. No, you don't. You're white. You don't know what it is to be Black. Who told her to even speak? Then you got on there and backpedaled and pee-pop and then crying to my I watched the interview and oh my God, I'm so sorry. Ma'am, we didn't ask you the first time to speak. Sit down. You and Andy that fell out, whatever, you and that queen that fell out, you over there with the podcast, you claiming, you got so much important things to think about due to the pandemic. So why are you thinking about this woman? What does she have to do with you? Not a damn thing. Sit your ass down, Bethany. Go and drink some of that alcohol you're selling. I don't know who buying it because every time I go to the liquor store, it's still on the shelf. And just sit down. I'm sick of her. I'm sick of white people and this narrative that they think that they understand the Black plight when you don't. Okay, I want to know where my reparations is, where my 40 acres is, and where my stuff is at. While you sitting up here crying on the podcast, you worth 70 million, ma'am. You want to break me off of some of your millions? I think not. Shut up. Don't speak on that woman's stuff. I don't know who told Bethany to talk.
She understands press and media. She knows how to get herself trending. She could care less about Meghan Markle and Harry. She don't care. Amira, what were your thoughts on Bethany inserting herself, coming to the party? No one invited her. Throwing up all over the carpet.
Can y'all hear me though? I feel like my internet's bad. Is it okay now?
It's good now, right this minute.
Yeah, so I think that what Schoolboy said is accurate. Just sit your ass down. You don't know what the Black plight is. Just keep your mouth shut. And I think what is really frustrating to me is the fact that systemic racism is still alive and well, because look at this. On the day where we're supposed to be talking about Meghan Markle, we end up talking about this white woman. And she's trending. She should not be trending on the day when Oprah Winfrey's talking to Meghan Markle. You are not in the narrative. Just keep your mouth shut. And all you talked about is Ramona Singer not supporting women. Is this a woman supporting another woman? Doesn't look like it. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a woman, but this doesn't look right to me.
No, not at all. Bishop, what were your thoughts? I mean, I know what your thoughts are, but I just want to hear.
Bethany, who?
Right?
Who is she?
Right?
Who did?
Who did? Harper, who this woman? Um, when she came up and because school was talking about, like, who's this white woman? Like, I don't know who she is. And so I realized, like, oh, that's who she is. I'm like, I still don't know who she is, but okay. Carry on. You know, I didn't stop to go look for her. I didn't stop to look for her products. I was like, oh, she's talking about something that's popular. She's trying to be on the popular train.
Yeah.
She seemed like one of them girls that didn't get no attention in high school, but she had to do some outrageous in order for people to talk about her for 5 minutes and then move on with their precious lives.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, like it's another barbecue Becky coming up out of nowhere, trying to be seen and like, it's me, Jessica. You know, like, okay, God bless you. Like,
I know. Yeah, Skinny Girl is nasty. It tastes like it'll give you heartburn. It tastes like bad medicine.
It's
Oh
nasty.
God, and the
That's why-
hangover. The
that's
hangover.
why you
Make
stay
your stuff
skinny.
fresh. You can make fresh margaritas. Simple syrup. It's very easy. Boil some water and sugar. Fresh limes. Okay. Simple syrup is the main component to a margarita. Okay. Just hit me up in my DMs. I'll teach you how to make a fresh margarita in less than 10 minutes.
Yes, Monica. I didn't know you had those talons.
I have many, my darling. My big sis speaks. Thank you so much for the super chat. Harpo, who this woman? Yes, who is this woman?
This woman. And did y'all see her? I don't know if y'all saw Kenya Moore when she was on her, one season talk show, Bethany's talk show. And she literally said, your show's successful, Atlanta, because y'all are pulling weaves. I was like,
what?
Really
Yeah.
And Kenya answered it quite nicely. I was impressed.
That was a great answer that Kenya gave her. She goes, I don't sit in a privileged seat like you do. Doors are not open for us. So when we do, show up to the party, we have to go the extra mile. The playing field is not level. She did have a great response. Valera, thank you so much for the super chat. If Meghan Markle was a real housewife, her tagline would be, simping is that easy. Bow down to the queen. Ooh, okay.
Oh my.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Too bad she won't get that crown.
All right now. Michelle Hardnick, thank you so much for the super chat. Laugh out loud. They're trying to shut Amir down, messing with his Wi-Fi. We're on
it's
to
just my bad Wi-Fi, y'all. It's just my bad.
It's the man.
Mm-hmm. There was
it's the royalties.
And it was saying Plez is on point. I thought I got the lady's name, but thank you so much for that super chat. And yes, Plez is on point. My big sis speaks, other duties as assigned. Yeah, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate you. Queen Cascade is actually British herself, so I'm glad she called in.
We're in the presence of royalty, people.
Queen, honey, let me curtsy. Yes.
Hey, good evening, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Hi, good evening, my darling. How are you?
Listen, I don't know who was coming for you, Monica, over here in England. We'll have to have a few words, see what's going on.
Thank you. You got my back, right? Thank you. Yeah.
Everybody doesn't feel the way that everybody else feels about the situation with Meghan.
Right.
Yeah. For me, because I live here, because I was born here, even though my parents are Jamaican, I was raised here. I don't really consider myself British, even though I might sound that. I have more of the Jamaican side of me. In regards to what you guys are saying, this is complex. There is so much to this, and it goes back generations. So there's been issues before when look, guys in America, don't take personally what I'm saying. You have to understand from what I've witnessed here, living here, and what goes on. So there's some history where the queen wasn't actually supposed to become queen. Her uncle was supposed to be the king, and he abdicated the throne. If people look into the author Wallace Simpson, so when the king abdicated the throne for an American who was a divorcee, who was an author, that caused a whole heap of problems for the royal family. He left the royal family and he went with Wallis Simpson once she got her divorce. Do you get what I mean? She was supposed to be the side chick. He wasn't supposed to make her his main. Do you get what I mean? England has this long-standing history about blue bloods. So what the lady said about German descendancy, it is true. The Queen was born here, but then she lived abroad. They marry their cousins. They marry their second cousins. They marry their third cousins. That's why they call them blue bloods, to keep the bloodline pure. Diana and Charles, that was an arranged marriage. Fergie and Andrew, she was a commoner. When it comes to marriages through the royal family, the Queen has to approve. So something I heard earlier was what you guys were saying about Kate. Kate hasn't had it easy. She's had it easier in some circumstances. To them, when she first came along, she was a commoner, although by the time she was in university, she was middle class. Her parents were commoners and came up through the elite ranks. Yeah. She met William at university. The Queen didn't like her. The Queen didn't approve. William stood up and fought for her and went against what his grandmother wanted. So this marrying commoners, for them, it doesn't work. And then on top of it, she's Black. So I've dealt with racism all of my life here. People don't care about us. Same like how, you know, it's a microcosm. England is a microcosm of what America is. There are a lot of issues here. When she came here, I was worried about the fact of, you know, the way that it's a gilded cage. Buckingham Palace is a palace, but inside it, it's got miniature mansions. So although they live together, they don't live together in the typical sense of living together. And the Queen is literally, she's a multimillionaire. She has properties and furs, and her generational wealth goes back thousands of years. So yes, the Queen is a part of the problem, but the system is the problem. She inherited a system that didn't work. She got the title because of her uncle and because she was a girl. Technically, she shouldn't have really inherited because they want the boys. Do you get what I'm saying? So there's other things. There's so much that you guys were saying that I want to comment on, but it's
comment, please, because we love it. I just love your whole vibe. I could listen to you all day. The Jamaican and the British combined. Listen, it's everything. Okay,
you telling us a story.
I'm trying to understand how it all works, because you know that's a lot of education that I'm learning about. You know, the whole culture and how it works and who did what and why, how it came down to where it is now. Because that's a lot. So that makes sense.
So
now, are Kate and William cousins, 15 cousins or something like that?
Something like that. They've been able to track something down through the pipeline. It wouldn't surprise me. Most of these kings, although they don't like to talk about it, most of these kings have side chicks. It's just not something that's spoken about. So Camilla was his side chick. They thought when Charles married Diana, because my grandmother was a royalist, so I learned about all these stories and it never made sense to me. I was like, this sounds crazy. So they were betrothed in an arranged marriage because of the Queen's mom and Diana's grandmother being best friends. They arranged that marriage. Camilla, good friends with Charles for how many years? He wanted to marry her, but the Queen didn't like her. The Queen thought she was the wild card, but it was vice versa. Diana turned out to be the wild card. Camilla, I think, if I remember correctly, she got married and then she became a divorcee. So that became another reason for her not to be with, but she was always in the background of their marriage. She was always there. Princess Diana spoke on it a number of times because she ended up having her own little outside affair. And then she went to the newspapers and she explained there's always been somebody in my marriage, even down to all of them, all of the ones that are the main in terms of Charles, Andrew. They all have side chicks. They all have their royal concubines.
Thank you, Queen. Do you want to add anything else in regards to what we said this evening?
I'm glad she's gone. And when I say that, take it the way that it's meant to be. She was never safe here. From when the British public, and there's something else that I wanted to mention. Like, I don't know, you guys hear about like Robin Hood and Sherwood Forest. The aristocracy goes back hundreds of years. So all those lords and ladies that used to run the land and take the taxes, they're the ones that have become the big businesses. They're the ones that now run the media, the television. So they have loyalty to a certain extent to the Queen. There's certain ones that they answer directly to her because of how their wealth has come down. And there's other ones that, you've got the independents that are struggling though. But Meghan's been trying to get her story out for a while about what's been going on. She's just been continually suppressed over here. And the way that the MPs, and there was a whole situation where it came out over here about an MP's wife and the conversations where they were calling her a monkey and the N-word and all the other stuff. There was a whole scandal here that came out when they were getting prepared to get married. And there was a load of MPs and other people in political circles that were involved in these conversations. You can go and look it up online. So you can see from the conversations that they were having about her that they didn't want her here. It was always going to be a matter of her safety. Now, the thing with Harry's, like you said, he's always wanted to be a commoner, but he's never really had the opportunity. When he had the chance to kind of go into the army and get his feet wet, he got pulled because his location was told to everybody and his life was in danger. So he's always dreamed of it. But Harry's growth is stunted because of what happened with his mom. His mom was more involved with him and William than how typical princesses are, because most of the royal children are raised by governesses, which are nannies. So he has, deficiencies in certain areas. He has had a certain privileged life that's been handed to him, but it's undoing the brainwashing for him is going to take time. It's going to take time for him to find his feet. But the way that Archie would have been probably raised here, being a mixed race child around elitism, and the way that the elite schools work in only having a certain amount, they're 5% or 10% of Black children or Black people or an offshoot of Black, he wasn't going to get the kind of upbringing that he deserved. And I hope that wherever they are, that they're safe, that they can continue to build and grow. But it was never going to be the fantasy that everybody thought it was. She was always going to be under, pressure with the way that they do things. They don't call themselves the firm for no reason. There's a reason. They're an empire in itself. So what Meghan wanted to do was change that. And there's elements of Meghan in Harry. He wants his voice to be out there, and she gives him power in his voice. But Meghan trying to change 10,000 years of British rule and how things work was never gonna work. And they want you to do what they want you to do when they want you to do it. So you're either with them or you're against them. And they're treading on very shaky grounds. So I understand why they didn't say everything about what had actually been going on in the castle, because like you said, they can still be touched. It's nothing to put something in somebody's food or somebody's drink. You know what I mean? Accidents happen all the time. They touched Diana, his mom. So I understand his concern in getting her out there, getting her out of here. I never thought it was going to work here because all the pressures, the socialite circles, the things that are expected of her. Even Kate struggled, and she comes from a certain class. She struggled for the first few years, but she toed the line. Meghan's not. She's tried to toe the line in certain things, but there's so much pressure on her, and there is a big cultural divide. There is a big cultural in the way that English people talk and Americans talk, and they didn't take the time to really get to know her and build a proper relationship. And it was never going to be the kind of, you guys have your friends, your family. That's not how they operate. Right. Their family structure is completely different. Like the crown and that only gives you a small hint. It glamorizes it, but there's a lot more to it.
Thank you so much, Queen Cascade. Queen, we appreciate you. You always come with a great insight, and especially on this topic, right? Right? For people that don't know, MP means members of parliament. That's like their government, their senators. Like in America, we would call them Senate, you know. All right, Queen, you have a great evening. Thank you, my love.
Take care, everybody. Good night.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay.
Oh God, my mind is blown. Like I would have just said hell with all that. Let me go back being regular.
Hey, Tasha, how you doing?
I'm good. That was a lot. Like, I didn't know a lot of the stuff she was talking about. I was shocked. I'm like, why did she do this? Like Meghan, like, but one thing I wanted to say that made me laugh, I think Bishop said it, talking about Ashley Darby's baby looking like Michael, that's rude. Don't say that. She doesn't like that, Bishop. Because I guess he's ugly, whatever. But Meghan, I felt a little bit of sympathy for her because you had to have known, like what Queen Cascade was saying, there's been tabloids, rumors, and a lot of stuff going on over there. So I'm pretty sure she knew kind of what she was going into. And she's probably not probably, I'm sure she's met the family before they got married, and you can feel someone's energy if they don't like you. So I'm pretty sure they gave her looks. She's probably heard things that people said about her, or they probably said it to her face. So I don't really feel bad about her, and I think she enjoyed it a little bit, like the limelight and probably the money. But right now, I think Harry he's kind of regretting pretty much telling his family F you because the security. It's almost like, money doesn't last forever. And what is he going to do? Did he ever mention how much money his mom left him? Well, it looked like a Tekashi 6ix9ine situation, like he's going to run out of money, not able to pay security. Like, who's going to help him? So I think he's regretting it, and he's probably, like someone mentioned, leaving that door open. That's why he doesn't want to fully talk about his family, because he's leaving that door open. Like, hopefully I can possibly come back if I need more money, if I need security and all that good stuff. But that was pretty much it. Oh, and oh my gosh, it was so funny. Every time your screen messed up, I got scared. I was like, oh shit, like this is real. Like, no, because it was scary how you would just be talking normal, then start talking fast. And I was like, they got a mirror. So I kept typing. I was like, don't cut off a mirror. Like, don't blink out. Don't do that and stuff. And I was like, we got to pray for him.
Yeah, I know. It was kind of scary.
Yeah, but that was all. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You have a great evening. Okay. Bye. Bye, my love. Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh, goodness. This is a lot. It's a lot. When you guys hear me say goodness gracious, it's a lot. Oh, my goodness. Oh, here. Who are we going to put on here next?
That's the nice Southern lady's way of saying, "Oh shit."
That's
Oh,
that's
that's what
right
that
there.
is. Oh,
Hi, Lamont. How you doing, sweetie? Oh, okay.
Come on, Chess. Come on, Chess.
Oh, sorry, I had to turn off my YouTube.
He know he did that for a mirror.
Hey, man.
That's slick.
I had to turn off my YouTube real quick because of the echo. Sorry.
That's okay. Hi, Lavon. How you doing, sweetheart?
Hi, y'all. It's me. So I wanted to challenge the perspective a little bit. First of all, I think that Miss Meghan Markle is an absolute genius. And let me tell you why. I do believe that she was looking for clout in the beginning, and then maybe fell in love with the prince. But then again, who wouldn't? I'm sorry, Pleasant, not to challenge you a little bit, but when it comes to joining a job and not knowing what HR's responsibilities are, do you not read the job description before you sign on to the job? You do. So she should have known before becoming the princess what the duties of a princess was. And if not, then her man should have explained it to her. When you invite your boyfriend over for Thanksgiving the first time, don't you tell him the rules to your family? Don't you tell him, excuse me, when you come in, make sure you say hi to grandma, because if you don't, she's gonna be mad at you. Say hi, that's a rule in my house. You come in, you say hi to everybody in the room, otherwise you're gonna get mad.
Mm-hmm.
So did he not tell her the rules when he come in? Because there's a bunch of rules. She can't eat shellfish. She can't have red nail polish. She can't do sushi. There's a whole bunch of rules. So did you not know? And if you didn't, that's on you. I really feel as though the royal family looked at Meghan Markle the same way as sort of a Black China came in and destroyed the Kardashians. Meaning, Rob Kardashian was a little bit of the black sheep of the family, and then got with Black China as sort of a revenge, and she came in and look what she did. Harry is also sort of the black sheep of the family, went and got a Meghan Markle, who was not nowhere near Black China, but maybe to them, somewhat like it because she's a commoner. And for the first time, she's black. Or black. And what I find the most interesting about that is they thought that she was going to be the most drama because she was black, or part of her family was. But was the black side the most drama? No, it was the white side that was the most drama when it came to that royal family. It was the white side that came up with the Meghan Markle sparkle weed. It was the white side of the family that tried to crash the royal wedding. It was the mother or the father and the sister that want to come out with these embarrassing statements, books, exposing, and complaining. The black side didn't say anything. So, it's really interesting that everyone's so concerned about the baby coming out and looking a certain way, the DNA being maybe somehow tainted or whatever, when there has been so much alleged inbreeding. So it's really weird that, that's the concern that comes up. And I think that Meghan Markle sort of came into the situation a little bit business minded. I think that she sat down and she's sitting here. She realized all of this. And if she was anything like me, she's writing it down, didn't say anything. And she will come out with a book exposing everybody, saying what she has to say. Because guess what? She needs to get paid for this interview. The interview was the payment. So when she comes out with her book, when she comes out with whatever, I'm here for it. I want to see what they said. And if I was her, I would have done the same thing. I would have said, what? I can't come to what party because I'm black? No problem. Let me just write this down right here. And when I'm ready, here's a book. That's what I think she did. And I say more power to her. And, her being, if she's oppressed, I wish her to get the most mental help. And using her platform, I think that she will use this for the best. And more power to her. So that's what I have to say.
Well said. Yeah, well said, Lavon.
AKA pay me for my pain.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep.
And Lavon, I just wanted to say what I was saying with the HR, you got it. But what I said was you read the job description, but it isn't until you actually get on the job that you see the day-to-day and what else they want you to do. All jobs throw in a little extra that's not in their job description. And you have to go to HR like, hold on, I signed up for 1, 2, 3. Now I'm doing the supervisor work, the secretary's work. I'm doing everybody's work. And so that's what I think it is. Like, I think we all know, oh yeah, you're a princess. You got... Baby, she thought of American princess. Like she said, she's comparing herself to Ariel. Even if she had an etiquette class. An etiquette class in America has no, like not even an inch of what is required in Great Britain royal society. She didn't even know how to curtsy. Come on now, like schoolboy. I learned how to curtsy in Girl Scouts.
But you got some.
Yes, I was a Girl Scout.
But you got to mess up a little bit. Ariel met Prince Eric, who was from France, I think. So
Was he
he
from
was
France?
an
It's been a
American.
minute since I've seen the video.
No,
the
she
movie.
she compared
Oh, I know
herself
messing with
to
you.
oh
Levon, my love, thank you for calling in. We appreciate you. You always add a perspective to things that we didn't think about before. So thank you. You have a great evening, my love. Okay. Bye.
All right, please.
Oh my goodness. Should we wrap things up or should we take more callers? How do you guys feel?
It's up to you.
maybe one more.
Okay.
Yeah. Uno.
No más.
Give us someone spicy. Sexy chocolate.
Ooh, that was so funny when they brought Randy Jackson back with that Jerry curl. I said, "Oh my God, when they gonna bring the curl back?"
Let's end the show with Princess. Hey, Princess.
Chi-Town royalty. Princess.
Yes.
We had a queen and a princess today.
Amen. Look at it.
And you had an archbishop on here.
Good evening. Salute, whatever you want to call it. I should have put my crown on. I wasn't thinking to put my crown on for this occasion.
Crown and your pearls.
Get your crown.
I'll be honest, I don't be giving a damn about these people. But every once in a while I will watch. I watch the wedding. I just like the pomp and circumstance of it all. But I really don't care for those people because it looks like it's some BS. And come to find out, it is some BS. I really until after they got married, I asked, I said, do they have a last name? What is their last name? I really was just that unattached. And somebody told me it was Windsor. I was like, oh, okay. But I watched the interview. I felt kind of bad for her and not because them people know what they doing. And I think the only reason why she became his bride is because she was passable. Otherwise, if she was brown like me, they probably like, oh, hell no. no. They would have like, no, man, Pam. If she was brown like her mother, she wouldn't have, I think they are mad that she has freckles. But we must realize that Harry, out of all of the children, has been a rebel his whole life and his whole career. You see him at all the rap concerts and hanging out on the low end and all the dingy stuff. So he is about that life. The interview, she was very guarded. She was very careful about her words. And I understand it's just like Queen Cascade said, I believe that they can be touched. You will say that they don't have security, but you best believe they do have security that they don't know about. Like you say the wrong word, we coming after you. Inside the castle, the things that she said, it's almost like they have a hit out on them, her more or less than him. Because when you say, I'm going to kill myself, or I want to die, and out of all the millions and billions of dollars and all of that education that you have to have, nobody has a therapist anywhere around there. All of those people need therapy and need help for various reasons. Kate Middleton may have it easier, but let's be real. She was a fiance. Like I grew up and she was still this man's fiance. I was like, damn, how long it take to marry somebody? I didn't realize at that time that was a courtship, and she got a chance to go through the process to see, do I really want to be here? And do I want to go through this? And then people broke up several times. And then I guess after a while, he was like, please, baby, please stay with me. And she was like, all right. And so I can believe that William fought for her because he don't look like nothing now. He's like 22 with a bald head. Like, he looks very worn and very lived up. And Harry's on his way, but he didn't got up out of there, got up out that jam. And I believe he was talking cold when he said, I was trapped, but I did not know that I was trapped. And he used Meghan as a scapegoat so that he could go be with all the rappers and do everything that he wants to do that is unseemingly to the Windsor name. I do believe in my heart, and even though they've said that they cannot come back, I do believe that in the future, some things are going to change, and his daddy gonna have to bend. Some things are gonna happen. I know he's not gonna be the king ever, but they're gonna have to put their family back together, and they're going to put their family back together, and they're gonna have to make some type of they're gonna have to bend and make some type of compensation for them to come back together. But it ain't now. I think they're gonna live their best life. People in the chat, please believe they are not broke. They do not have poor people's problems. The minute that they broke off from the royals, they got $1 million deals with Disney. Okay, she did, what is it, $8 million deal just to do voiceovers for National Geographic and Disney. They have you heard Oprah say her and Harry are working on something for Netflix. They got money. They got Arab money. Please do not believe it. He said we were living off of my mom's money. That is not like my mama gave me $300 or $1,000 to move. They have money and they are fine. They're gonna be fine. Their houses probably paid for, cars, whatever. They just had to, it's just like, when you know your check coming at 2 a.m. and you just spent your last like $50 and you only got $20 and you need to get to work the next day, you need some gas. It was kind of like that, like you just waiting on the deposit to drop. That's all. They have money. Them people is fine. They'll be fine as long as they shut their mouth. Ain't no book coming out because they're gonna die. Just that's it. They're gonna die if they talk too much. They know what's going on and they want to be able to go back home because he knows he needs to keep your options open. You got to be careful around here. So I think it just was an option of being careful, making sure that them people don't kill them and that they are happy for right now. By the time them kids get grown, they'll be back over England. Grandma gonna be 150 years old and they're gonna be right there at the cemetery walking behind that basket and casket and $50,000. Okay, that woman, they made it seem like, and I'm finna close the sermon, they made it seem like on the other movies, I thought they were really getting along. So it was really eye-opening that they dirty up in there. They real dirty, and the media and the bloggers run the UK and the way things are moving. Those are the people that are more in control than the royals are, if you are listening to what they're saying. So be happy that you're in America. And, she used her WAP for what she's supposed to. She used correct thoughtnomics, okay? If you're going to use thoughtnomics, go ahead, marry up. And that's what she did. And she stayed there. And yes, he did. They didn't put her through the princess program. It was wrong. They put Kate through the princess program, but because she was Black and because she was American and they really didn't want him to marry her and they didn't think it was going to go through, I think that's why she didn't get the treatment that she was supposed to get. Amen.
Very well said. Very well said.
Amen.
Yeah.
Pass the collection plate.
Thank you, Princess.
Accurate.
We needed to hear that. Very accurate. All right, we're going to wrap things up. Princess, thank you for calling in, my love. You have a great evening. We love you, of course. Bye, my
Love you.
Bye. Miss Alexander J, thank you so much for the super chat. I can't wait to see Prince Harry in a Drake video. Oh, it's time to wrap it up.
Something. I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
My big sis speaks. Wow, you've been really, really supportive and generous tonight. Thank you so much. Last thing, what they are giving to those guards to make them stand all day, or are they scared to sit? That queen, laugh out loud. You are all phenomenal. Thank you.
Yeah, they don't move, honey. Those beef
I've
eaters.
always wondered that.
Mm-hmm.
Baby, it's training. They get trained from birth. Like you said, it's the classes. People who grow up as royal guards, their daddies was royal guards.
Yeah.
They don't move nothing.
Yeah.
They won't move for nothing. It's true.
LKZ number 2, thank you so much for the super chat. Girl, they got 7 mil from this interview alone and can do more talks. They are set for life. Google King George, who is the king that reneged on the throne. They didn't get anything for this interview, from what
for this interview.
I
Now
think people are confusing what it cost CBS to make the interview. That's the article. It's titled
Licensing deal.
Yeah, $7 million to make the interview. Right.
Now, allegedly, I heard they pay people under the table when they give them interviews, but they don't do it outright, front outright. They don't pay them outright. That's what I've heard.
Oprah puts it in her little fruit baskets, honey, when she drops it off.
No, well, it's not Oprah. It's CBS.
Sounds like tax evasion to me, Bishop.
Because it's
allegedly.
CBS and
Can they drop a fruit basket?
Y'all didn't hear it from me, but I've heard that from other people.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Can they drop a fruit basket?
Yeah.
Can I have a fruit basket too?
Schoolboy wants a fruit basket from Oprah.
Yeah, you could just hide the money underneath it. You know,
Yes.
Well, I mean, would they? I guess it would be American taxes, because I'm like, if the taxes go to the British, I mean, why not? That's why America was founded, right? Through all that tea in the ocean.
For green cards, are they here permanently? How are they here so long? What status?
I think they are. I think they got citizenship in this country. They have citizenship in Canada as well.
Oh, okay.
So you can have dual.
They applied for that and they got it, or
now, Monica, you know everybody's green card. Some people's get processed a little faster.
I guess so.
Yes, they do.
They get amnesty because they're like they fled their country. I mean, that's the other thing too. Who knows?
Got that too.
Who knows? E, thank you so much for the super chat. Princess Diana left $9 million, which isn't much with his lifestyle. Markle better build an empire here in America. Love the panel. We love you too. Thank you.
We love you too.
I think they're gonna get paid regardless.
Yeah,
they're interesting. Because of the America's enigma with the royal family, they're gonna get paid regardless. It's kind of like Barack and Michelle. They gonna get somebody gonna give them some money. You know, they gonna make some money. So I don't think they'll ever be broke, really.
No.
True. You're right. Good points. Definitely many deals coming their way as long as they stay live. Marge Bond, thank you so much for the super chat. Just saying, hey, good night. I'm too drunk to type a lot.
Oh, okay.
On a Monday, you had a hard day.
You had a hard day, honey. Oh,
can't feel
it. My darlings, I have to chat, but I love everyone.
Yes.
All right.
Good night. Thank you, Mary.
Enjoyed you, fam.
We enjoyed you so much. We love you. Bye.
Thanks for having me.
Love you
guys.
too.
Yeah. See you tomorrow. Okay.
Come back soon.
I will.
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Plaz, where can they find you?
They can find me over on Instagram at scared_of_beautiful, and here on YouTube at Scared of Beautiful, just spaces, no periods.
Sounds good. Bishop, where can they find you?
You can find me here on YouTube, Binding the Spirit of Satan, whether it be common or royalty. And you can also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Bishop Redpill.
All right, definitely go check Bishop out. He gets into a lot of deep things over there. Schoolboy, where can they find you?
Shout out to Queen Mama Bear that got me this Tessica Brown sweater from the Gorilla Glue girl. You know, bonding for life. It ain't worth $50, but it is soft. I appreciate it. You can find me on YouTube at school_boy, and then y'all can go over there and troll me on Twitter, because y'all like to troll me at school_boy, and then you can come get some on school_boy_2021, because y'all liking to troll me. I guess y'all just wake up in the morning and just want to beef with me. I don't know.
What happened today, child? I was at work and then I took a break and I saw you going live. I'm like, Lord, I done missed all the goings on.
Liz, I was just working doing my job. I came out, somebody arguing about Monica Avatar. They don't know she black. I mean, I got people still arguing on my post right now. I mean, it's at 9:00 at night. You ain't got nothing to do.
It's sad.
Monica, you're gonna have to drop a hand picture of something, baby. These people want to know. They want to know your bloodline. So bad.
I might go live.
Bloodline.
And then, you know what's so funny? Let me say this. They keep saying they keep that. Well, they used to write me when I first joined here. When you asked to come on, they first hit me up, and I guess they got mad because I was ignoring them. But But they used to ask me like, yeah, I even know it might not look like that. I'm like, how do you know? I don't know how she looked.
Right.
You don't know that.
Yeah. And the other thing they want to know about salaries, what people get paid. Do you not get paid? We're not talking that. Okay, we're not going to talk that. We don't do that.
even know
And it's sad that you're so obsessed with that. It's weird. It's kind of creepy. But if you're trying to infiltrate this group, I mean, it's solid. It's rock solid, baby.
Rock solid.
Okay, rock solid. All right.
In the words of Big Sean, ain't nobody fucking with my clique. Click.
Hey.
Hey.
And guess what? We share DMs. Yeah, I would purposely ignore y'all. The ones that are here to start. Yeah, we know who
You need help.
They do. It's sad. It's sad. It really, really is.
I guess they didn't really go to etiquette school because you don't ask people about money. Who
No.
does that?
They DM. Listen, y'all. They DM the panel all the time. Does Monica pay y'all? Well, how much you make? We're not talking that. But do you come on?
Who's a white woman?
Mhm.
Who said that was white?
Let me say this. I'm like white people. You don't know my money, and you never will know my money. Thank you. God bless.
Right?
Or
My
my
mama
honey, baby. I
always
tell
was
people all the time, I'm just gonna pop up married. Y'all gonna be like, where he came from?
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You break Bishop's heart. Don't do that.
What? I gonna throw me up in there like that, Monica. I ain't gonna do it like that.
Don't.
So messy.
Don't do that.
She is messy for that one.
I'm gonna say the teacups are
Because
strong.
look,
Though, in the
Flynn,
text.
I think the
They
same way
strong.
too. I used to, bring my fiance, girlfriend to church and everything. And after all that, everybody kept asking, "What happened to her?" Well, I'm stop doing this. Y'all just gonna find out one day. Bishop is engaged. What? We didn't meet her. Oh well, you meet her today.
Yeah, you just get engaged.
Yeah,
and break
I know
engagement.
y'all say y'all don't like Facebook, but I learned that early on from Facebook because I ain't gonna lie, I used to be side-eyeing people too, like, girl, again, y'all broke up. We single this week, we in a relationship, then it's complicated. That's too much.
Right.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Yes.
I told y'all my neighbor got beefed out with her dude. He didn't came back, so it's back on again, That's how it be.
Oh my God.
If you don't put it out there, y'all, people can't judge it. So
They can't.
that's it, what it is.
That's true.
But once it's out there, you can't get mad because I'm gonna be like,
Right.
I was joking, y'all. Now they starting this mess. Bishop and Plas forever. Sitting next
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Lord.
I was just playing.
well, no, Monica. Aside from the salary questions and stuff, that probably is the second popular DM topic. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
girl, thank you.
I don't say
They
nothing,
don't
Plas.
ask me
I
that.
just say okay. I just
Well,
look
so
at it.
I don't know how to like. Now, some people I do just ignore and block if you just too out. But I know people are coming from a good place,
Yeah.
And when I talk about being single, especially older Black women, they want you. It's again, I tell y'all in the South, it's like the worst thing you can do is be single, and especially at my age. Maybe sometimes what you're looking for is right in front of your face.
You want to hear that constantly.
Well, it's just not women from the South. It's men too. Whether or not you got a side piece or not, you better be married. At least marry one of those chicks you with.
Somebody, right?
Yeah, they're like, my parents were like, so we gonna give us a grandchildren.
Oh, that's tough.
I'm like, sir, ma'am, I'm not even married. Well, you
That
don't know what
is-
it is.
That's a lot of pressure. That really is a lot of pressure.
Y'all will never see Bay, so don't ask. It'll never happen. Pray for you. Don't ask. Y'all will not be going over there flooding that woman page, involving her. Because y'all bother the hell out of me sometimes. I'll be like, damn, y'all ain't got no time.
Yeah. This is why my nephew won't come on camera with me. Because I don't want people bothering my family.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though he be like, let me come in here. I'm like, no.
No, you don't need that. But yeah, today, this woman popped out of I don't know who she was. Well, I do know because she's been harassing me. And I typically just ignore her, but I'm on one today, child. Woo! I had time today. I was responding to everybody. I had that spirit in me. You know what it is? I didn't eat. My head was hurting. And when you don't eat all day, it makes you hangry. I was
hangry is a thing. It'll get you every time.
Yeah, that's That's a yeah.
I was hangry today, so it was like, all right, enough's enough with the harassment. But you said this and you said that, and then she was trying to like pit me, Schoolboy and Plez and Bishop against me. Y'all don't eat. Which I don't know what she was saying. She was saying all kinds of mess. She blocked me. Did she block you, Schoolboy?
I don't know, and I don't really care because I told her she could unfollow me right then, or I could block her. She had the option to make the first move, do what you need to do, but don't be on the page trying to run up because you might get done up over here. My hands, my mouth is bisexual, and so is my hands. We can get it going.
It was so weird because I had an app. And you know how you get an ad and you can still see the notification. But when I clicked on it, it was gone. I was like, oh, that's strange. But look, work is crazy right now. So I'm sneaking breaks looking at social media. And then I was scrolling and saw your video. And I was like, oh, maybe that's what the app was about.
I had her today too. And I went on and let her know about herself. Don't come over here with that, ma'am. Because when nobody even involving you. And then now I just got one right here again.
What? What? Another
one? Y'all need help. This is the pandemic that really got mental health all messed up. I need people to go see somebody.
They really do. I mean, I would assume that these are adults, right? I would assume so. It's like, why are you so deeply engrossed in other people's lives like that? To the point where you want to be a troll and you want to cause division in the group. I don't get that part of it. It doesn't. Why? Is it what we have that's so much love and energy is so good that it makes you upset? They just sit around. I don't like this shit. Like that movie Belly. Remember that? When Meghan up in Oklahoma, wherever he was, and the guy was eating the banana with the big old black. I don't like that shit. I don't like this. You can't be coming.
Cancel that bitch.
I don't get it. I really don't understand it. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Lord, now I want to reach out to some of the other people who have panels and ask them, do they get this same type of stuff? Yeah. It's very interesting. I have a psychology degree on purpose because the study of human behavior is very interesting to me.
Yeah, you should be studying it. I just don't understand it.
Maybe I need to have.
It's really unhealthy to me that it's a mental health thing for me. Like, why would you even want to follow somebody that you don't even like? Like, that's sickening to me.
Yeah. And the funny part is, how do they know the panel hasn't seen me? How do they know that?
They don't know that.
They don't. That's another thing you need to consider. Now, on that note, I'm gonna leave you with that to think about. Put it in your pipe and smoke it. Oh boy!
Next time somebody asks me, I'm gonna say she Kablasian.
Right.
She said that'll work. I kind of fit all those categories, don't I? With this episode.
Yeah, she's multicultural.
She's multicultural, and she's a little bit of African American too. Would you like the 23andMe? Would that make
exotical? Y'all like that? Exotical.
They sure do. They sure do. Schoolboy, did you? I don't think you told the folks where they can find you, did you?
Yeah, I told them where they know where I'm at. They come over there and bother me. You know, I don't need.
They be harassing her.
I know. I can't wait for this to be over, so I'm not bothered.
They try to harass me, but they were like, I can't do nothing with this phone.
I need you to bind that spirit up on my IG. Just bind that spirit up on my IG. That's why I ain't been on there in a long time.
Yeah.
Typically, but you know what? Listen, guys, we talk, we have a group chat and we talk and we kind of put the puzzle pieces together. We kind of know who the ops are who come on this chat and come on here, and then they have fake accounts to troll us under. We kind of put the pieces together, but it's all good. It's childish high school games. If that's you live your life.
Constructive feedback and criticism, I'm always welcome to. But all that other stuff, I honestly just block the people. I'm fat. I'm this. Baby, I've been fat since I was 6. That doesn't get a rise out of me. Fat and still cute and smart as hell, boo. So
yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's so elementary, right? Really? Seriously? Come on.
One troll kept saying I'm fat and all this other stuff because they was defending Dr. Heavily. I said, baby, you so pressed. You really want me in your bed, don't you? Oh, you on my number, don't you? You want to know how this fat dude get down, don't you?
Probably.
She was mad too.
Okay, that's the oxymoron though. They were defending Heavenly.
I know.
Yes.
How long have they been watching the show? Because Heavenly.
That's what I'm saying. But Heavenly got fans. You know, Heavenly thinks she a good person.
No, but what I'm saying is you can't attack somebody else and call them just like Heavenly does herself. Baby, you can't call nobody fat when just 2 years ago you was a quarter pounder away from needing to be on my 600-pound life yourself now. Let's not do that.
Girl, she thought she looked good in that premiere and that half shirt on.
She's speaking everything
Oh
fat.
my God, a quarter pound.
A quarter pounder.
She thought she looked good in the premiere with that half shirt on. I said,
not a quarter pounder.
God bless. That's all I say. God bless America.
I'm gonna pray for y'all. Keep y'all on the altar.
Yeah.
Bishop, just bind the devils up on my IG right now. That's why
I will. We bind that spirit right now in the name of Jesus.
My God, today.
Yep. I see this comment. Thank you for sending to me, Schoolboy, from Doreen Wise. She's pressed and bothered. Oh my!
Like a panini.
Oh my!
Them shirts coming soon.
Why even watch a channel though? If you don't like somebody, if what you see bothers you, what you hear bothers you, for your own mental health, bye, goodbye. Like no one knows you're leaving. You should just leave. Just leave. All right, y'all. I reside here on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. We don't want you to miss out on any of the piping hot tea. So subscribe. And if you're already subscribed to the channel, bang that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the piping hot tea. Teacups, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. It was a good discussion on these royals. This was a little bit off course for us, right? Some international tea, but I liked it. I really did. I did. We love you all. Mods, thank you for holding down the chat. Oh, by the way, mods, don't delete anybody's comment. Or something's going on where comments are being deleted, but the mods are saying they're not deleting them.
It's Google.
I heard about that.
Google.
It deleted my comment, and I was a moderator on somebody else's channel. I'm like,
on
what?
YouTube? Google's doing it?
It said Google deleted your message. I was like, wow.
Oh, really? It said that. Oh, snap. Okay.
I think they're coming down on them, like the more of the bullying and the different keywords that people are using. So, I mean, people need to watch out what they're saying in the chat because you are getting deleted.
Oh, okay. So there you have it. It's not the mods. It's Google deleting your comments. So be careful, I guess. Wow. Pamela Maubrey, thank you so much for the super sticker. We appreciate you. Everyone that sent in a super chat or a cash app tonight, I want to thank you so much for helping us keep the lights on. I want y'all to stay safe and be blessed. I'm recapping Married to Medicine tomorrow on this channel at 3 p.m. Eastern.
Ooh.
3 p.m. Eastern. So we'll be back here and then back here with the nightly crew at 8 p.m. Eastern. And I think I have a podcast to do. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to be on Up and Adam's channel as well. So catch me over there.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe at noon.
Come on, booked and busy.
Wait, is it noon?
Okay. Go off, Queen.
Adam sets up his StreamYards early, so just go check. I don't even know when I'm going to be over there, but I'm going to be over there sometime tomorrow. He's very, very meticulous and very organized. April, my love, thank you.
Princess said it's 10:30. She believes. Princess just sent me the text. It's 10:30.
Okay. 10:30 Eastern, right? I think.
Yeah. I might be rolling over in the morning.
Okay.
Look, he meant Up and Adam. That's what he meant. Yeah. Up and Adam.
Yeah, Up and Adam at 10:30 tomorrow. So I'll be over there talking about the Royals some more. But it'll be good. Be a good day tomorrow. It'll be really good. I want y'all to stay safe and be blessed. Y'all know I love you, right? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
We love you too. Even
we love you too, Nana.
No, right? That's not right.
Hey, at least auntie.
Auntie.
Y'all don't remember that from 101? Love you too, Nana. 101. Yeah, you remember the show at the end of the show?
That's a long time ago.
It's a long time ago, but that's where I got that from.
Oh, okay. I never even watched. I gotta go look that up. I never watched it.
On
Wait,
UPN.
oh my god.
Oh,
Kyla Pratt.
1-on-1.
1-on-1.
Yeah, with Kyla Pratt.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
it
love her
Flex
too.
Alexander. I was saying one on one.
Oh,
What's going
that
on?
show. Okay. All right.
From
Yeah,
way back in the gap.
yeah, that took me way back now. Goodness. Bye, y'all. Bye.
Peace.